Welcome back to the Supercar Connection podcast. Back in the stew? As we said.
Back in the stew. Get out and place that order right away. Get into like, bro, man, you see smoke pop up the back door.
In on it, but as time has gone on,
Yeah, the concept is starting to sit for sure. And then, like, to be a hypercar, I think MSRP is like 1.8,
right?
1.9. It's nothing like crazy out of reach.
3.5
you know?
mil,
Yeah,
4
yeah,
mil,
yeah,
shit
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. It's not too bad.
It's
I wonder
pretty
what they're going to
reasonable.
go for on the secondary market.
I don't know, bro.
That's just going to be fucking
Probably at least like a 30%
easily
upcharge for sure.
More than likely, for sure.
for a minute.
Have you always been a car guy,
Yeah, always.
bro?
Yeah, from the very beginning.
How did it
Pops has been
start?
a car guy, I imagine.
Yeah. It started because of him. Because he used to race. I mean, he used to race Cup cars, GC3, and he would race go-karts. And then the minute I turned like 3-4 years old, I immediately started racing go-karts.
That's awesome.
So that's how it all started for me.
That's fucking lit.
Dude, go-karts are really the life.
Yeah, they're fun, bro.
Go-karts are so fun. I've been trying to tell him. This guy's never been in a go-kart.
Yeah, especially if you
K1
get
speed.
into like, bro, those are the same go-karts you buy off Amazon, bro.
That's what I'm trying to tell him, bro.
Bro, you know the little like Tesla go-karts, bro? Those are the K1 speeds is the same bullshit, bro. I'm telling you, you gotta
So
get
what
like
is a legit go-kart then? What is a real deal shit?
bro, like, so that one up there, that's a shifter car, which I think is like 125 cc's, something
Okay.
along those lines.
What about these things?
If you get into like
Those are mine.
you start in at like 100 cc minimum. You get 100 cc, you're gonna have some fun. Then you move up to the shifter cart.
This just sounds
But-
like some Florida,
Yeah.
Texas shit.
That's a shifter cart up there.
What do you mean Florida, Texas?
Bro, in California, we don't do a lot of that fucking go-kart
No,
shit.
you don't do it. They got it.
You think so?
Yeah.
For sure, bro.
I don't know. I think I've always been too big to fucking fit in these things. That's probably partly why I've never fucking
We
done
got a
it.
whole outdoor facility over there, about an hour and a half away.
The one they just built?
Yeah.
It's not fucking bad.
Because K1 actually built like an outdoor one with real go-karts out by us, like a pretty sick track. I haven't been yet. It just opened past few months, but trying to drag him out there and squeeze him into a cart.
Well, down here, they actually have at a go-kart track where you can rent out real go-karts. So, I mean, it's like similar to K1, except it's just not K1.
Right. Yeah, that's basically how this is. It's just actual K1's like, all right, we're outdoors. We got a big track. We'll give you real go-karts here, not this indoor electric stuff. It cuts
Actually,
power every time
go
you
fast,
slide.
bro. They go
Yeah.
fast as fuck,
How
especially
fast
when
we
you're in that
talking?
little thing, bro.
70?
Bro, yeah.
And they accelerate like crazy. You're
Yeah.
doing 0 to 60 like, pop.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Send that thing into
What?
a wall at that speed, dude. Fuck that, dude.
Yeah, you can get really hurt.
You guys are mental, bro. I'm telling
Well, they
you.
don't have walls.
That's true. So you're just fucking.
You just spin out like Mario Kart, like you hit a banana.
Yeah, some tracks, like the track in Homestead they had, I guess their wall would just be a bunch of just tires.
and that's it. So
Yeah,
you just
then
bounce right off
that's
them and
it.
just keep fucking pushing.
I mean, that bounce is still going to hurt, but yeah.
Then you scaled up from go-karts to what?
Nothing. I mean, from there, I raced go-karts from like 3 to about maybe like 8, 9 years old. And then as a teenager, I raced. Well, I wouldn't say like I actually competed, but I would take out a couple of the Porsches and the Cup cars on the track.
It's fucking lit, bro. It's awesome.
Yeah,
you
it's
like
sick.
you like Porsches then?
I think Porsche is it's a great car, yeah, for sure. Especially for like, I don't know how I want to put this, but for like daily purposes, you know, because it's not like super powerful, but at the same time, you have the looks, you have the sound, especially if you put an exhaust, and then you have the comfort as well if you put comfort seats. Because if not, those Porsche bucket seats are ass, bro. They're horrible.
You got to crawl out.
Yeah, you do.
You think the sound on a Porsche is nice?
If you put a full exhaust, I think it sounds pretty good.
Pretty decent?
Yeah, especially the GT2 RSs, for sure.
That's a fair point. That's
For
like the
sure.
one car that I would give it. I would give
Yeah.
that fucking turbo noise is the induction noise is fucking nasty.
Yeah, because I had a GT2 RS, and I never put an exhaust on it, but even the way it sounded stock, you just hear a bunch of turbo noise, and it sounds sick, and it's way more powerful than the GT3 RS, you know? Which,
the new 2RS when it comes out,
That's
is gonna
gonna be sick.
fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
car
it's
to
gonna
get.
be
yeah,
stupid.
I'm waiting for that call from Porsche where you can finally spec it out,
And fucking put
and
it in.
I'm placing that order right away.
How much
That
do we
is
know
gonna be
about it so
ridiculous.
far?
No idea.
Like hybrid? You think it's going to be turbo and hybrid?
I think so.
I'm not sure.
I think so.
You think so?
I would imagine they're probably gonna do it.
ZR1 competitor?
I'm not sure.
Probably. Or Zora competitor. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Zora when we stack it all
They're
up.
gonna they'll do it because they'll be able to do like an 800 horsepower setup, but it's gonna do numbers like if it was fucking 1200 horsepower with that setup. Knowing Porsche, it's gonna be
GT2
disgusting.
RS with like 900,000 horsepower.
That's gonna be ridiculous.
It's gonna be fucking
With
stupid.
that big weighing on it too.
You want to do a little formal intro? We quarterback
Yeah,
sneak right
we
into
did.
right into this
We
fucking-
kind of jumped
right
into
into
it.
this fucking
I
thing.
looked up and I was like, hey, he's given all the sauce on the 720 right now, so
Let's just flow
we're probably
right
gonna end
into
up
it.
leaving this in. But we're in some crazy man cave. Lambo Raul, here with Raul. You've seen the Chiron. You're like the original trader got the Chiron.
Yes.
So that's probably where you've seen him before.
Yeah, and you know the thing about that is I honestly should be getting a commission check because I bought I bought my first Chiron with Bugatti of Broward, and they told me for months they were dry, bro. They couldn't move a single Chiron. I bought mine. Obviously, I posted on social media, and then in the following like quarter, the next 3 months, they sold 8 Chirons alone. So, bro, I need to get at least a commission check, you know, or
At
at least
least,
a
bro.
heavy discount on something, bro.
Something, bro. That's fucking
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, but it's sick, bro. Because I mean, the relationship I built with that dealer. I mean, they're Bugatti of Broward, Koenigsegg of Broward, and Lamborghini of Broward. So they just throw me allocations, you
Like
know,
it's
left and
nothing.
right. Like, yeah, and for these, like I got an allocation for the Tourbillon too before it was even announced.
That's fucking
And the thing about it too is like you had to sign an NDA. They would take you into like this private room to show you the car, and then you could put in the spec for the car and you know, a bunch of shit, put a deposit on it. But the thing about it is, I mean, going to spec out a hypercar is completely different than specking out just like a regular Revuelto.
Walk us
you know?
through that whole process, bro.
Oh man, I mean, so for the Revuelto, super simple process. You know, here's 50 grand, whatever. Spec it out. You'll see the car in. Well, at that time when I had ordered mine, they said like 2 years. With the Tourbillon, they're like, okay, well, first if you want the allocation, you're gonna have to put down $400,000, and then within the next 30 days, you're gonna have to put another $400,000 to secure the allocation. Then from there, once you're ready, you could spec out the car. Once you have the MSRP of the car, you have to put down 50% of the car. And then when the car lands here, you either go get a loan for it or you pay it off in cash. But then by the time you spec it out, I mean, I think base, it's like 4.5. You know, you're already in $2.5–3 million. And that's money you're not going to see for, the car you won't even see for like 4 or 5 years.
So that car hasn't even landed and you're already fucking 50% in.
Yeah.
That's disgusting, dog.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, obviously, like, the people that are buying that, they're like 2–3 mil, like they'll lift up their pillow. There's 2–3 mil, you know?
It's the supply and demand that they're at a point where they can do that shit.
Yeah.
How much, do we know how much they're going to produce?
I have no idea.
They haven't even said
I think it was
numbers like that
9
yet?
something.
Yeah?
It's more than they've ever produced for a model.
I have no idea.
Fuck, that's going to be
It's
fucking
like 900
madness.
something.
You have your spec in?
No, I didn't actually. I didn't actually take it. I feel like right now, the way the markets are, to lock up 2 or 3 mil into a car, you're better off just putting that into the S&P 500 that has been performing really well over these last few years, and you're gonna make way more money.
100%.
And then that difference, by the time the car does land here and it sells for market or whatever the market value is gonna be, you'd probably already make that back.
Very much so.
Not
And
to
all the-
mention, as a trader,
Especially in stocks, too. Like Tesla just had like a 50% rally, which is ridiculous.
it's going to have
you
corrections coming for that fucking thing.
So I mean, bro, I feel like at this point in time, right now, the best thing to do is just invest into really the markets and into our real estate as well. So for me, I was like, I'm not locking up 2–3 mil, bro.
Bro, I think you're spot on with that. I think like right now we're such in a volatile space where literally anything can just pop a market up or pop a market down.
Yeah,
so
the markets
having
are super
capital
sensitive.
ready right now is like the number one thing. Kind of like cash is king right now. Like we need fucking funds available. Trump can come out tomorrow and just say one little bullshit thing about a tariff, and next thing you know, we have a 2% correction that's a buying opportunity we can capitalize on.
100%. And the thing that people don't realize is like it's all short term because of the tariffs.
That's it.
Later on, the companies are going to recuperate and go even higher.
Exactly, bro. And all the investments coming back to America and shit like that, all that stuff, that long term, like if you're trying to build a long term portfolio right now is probably the pinnacle time to start investing.
Yeah, you get the best discounts.
we're not
on these
financial
stocks.
advisors.
No, of course not. Yeah. Of course not. But you trade, your morally main focus is more on the Forex side of things, no?
Futures.
Futures, exactly.
Yeah, futures and indices.
How'd you
Yeah.
get started in that?
Really, I just
Go your
looked it up.
trading journey. Let's start the whole trading journey. Give us the A to Z.
I mean, bro, so originally I didn't want to get into trading. I wanted to go to the military, and I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease, and I couldn't enlist. So I was like, okay, well, what the fuck am I going to do now? So I always kind of knew in the back of my mind that I didn't want to follow in my dad's footsteps and become a dentist, because who the fuck is going to want to go to college for 8 years and then get in a bunch of debt? Not me, personally.
I feel you.
So I always kind of knew, like in the back of my mind, that a lot of people made money trading stocks. So then I started looking at trading, and then day trading came up, and then I started trading currencies, shifted over to commodities, and then over the last few years, I've been trading indices and futures, which is just basically like the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, and some options here and there too, but mainly futures now.
So you guys started in currencies. Mm-hmm. What year was this?
Bro, I was 18 at the time, so bro, I don't know, like 2015 maybe.
Fuck, that's back. I feel like most people don't start in currencies back in that thing. So for you to jump into currencies is a fucking hell of a thing, and then you conquer that market, you can conquer a lot of shit.
Yeah, I did pretty well. Honestly, I would say most of my money in the beginning, when I was growing, came from trading commodities, not even from trading currencies. And at that time, you know, Brexit was going on, so there was a bunch of volatility in the currencies market. And like the thing about it is, there's so many different variables depending on what market you're actually trading. Like if you're trading currencies, you're looking at trading two different currencies essentially in one symbol, where you're betting on one currency to gain value compared to the other. And what people don't take into consideration are essentially like the macroeconomics of those two currencies. So if you're trading like the dollar and the yen, like you got to be paying attention to what's happening over there, and then you got to be paying attention to what's happening over here to make like the best decisions. And especially like if you're swing trading too, which is where you're holding trades for days on end, compared to like looking for small intraday price fluctuations to be able to capitalize off of it. It's like if you're not paying attention to those two economies, like you're gonna get crushed, because there's algorithms, there's hedge funds that are on top of that and that are essentially moving the markets. You're gonna get fucked, bro. So
what's the best way somebody can track that?
What?
Exactly, keeping in touch with both currencies, both economies at the same time.
It's really just doing your research every single day, and then back testing on how certain events may actually affect that currency or that currency pair.
That's a crazy trading style because it's so news dependent and it's so fucking concurrent.
Swing trading, at least, yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah, because for me, like, there is economic data that I pay attention to, such as like FOMC, what the Fed's doing with interest rates, inflation, and then some other minor ones. But like, it really doesn't matter to me all too much, because I'm literally looking for really small intraday price action fluctuations, like maybe for the S&P 500 to move 0.25% to 0.5% in a day. It's really all I need, you know, because we're trading with margin sometimes and we're trading with leverage. So we're really able to maximize that move as much as possible. And if you look at a move of like 0.25%, well, you know what? If my stop loss is calculated at 1R, let's say the stop loss is calculated at, I don't know, maybe... I don't even want to say like 0.25%, right. But to just kind of simplify things, like let's say the average movement on the S&P 500 is 150 ticks a day, which right now in these markets is pretty easy. If my average stop loss is only 10 to 15 ticks, you know, I could look for a 30, 40, 50 tick move, where if I'm risking $100 per tick, then I'm looking to gain $400 to $500 per tick, and that's what we call as risk to reward. So it's more important. So as long as my risk to reward on a daily basis, on a winning day at least, gets satisfied, then that's really all I care about.
Because you're at that point now. The beginning of your trading journey was a little bit different, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, the beginning of the trading journey was really just like a lot of trial and error, because, I mean, you just see so many different things online, so many different strategies, you don't know what to do.
So much fucking information, you don't know what to listen to, all the fucking bullshit, everything else between.
Yeah, like you'll see so many people say, oh, swing trading is so much easier, or scalping is so much easier, but like, again, like for me, like if you're gonna be, and this is me now that I have 9 years in the trading industry, if you're gonna be swing trading, then you need to be able to understand economics, for sure. Because what can happen with swing trading is not only is your win rate going to be lower, so it's like, okay, well, if you lose 4 or 5 trades in a row, which if you have a 50% win rate, there is a 100% probability or 90% probability that you're going to lose 5 trades in a row. And it's like if you're trading with money where you're losing 10 grand each trade and you're down 50 G's, are you going to be able to accurately execute your system right after that?
It's a lot more difficult.
You know, so there's like so many different things you have to take into consideration, but as a newer trader, you're not gonna know this, you know?
No.
That's where the experience comes
most people
in.
don't have the capital to be able to swing trade like that too, and because
Correct.
They have way more finite trades, so you got to be 10 times more dialed, but it's a little bit more giving depending on the time frame you're actually fucking looking to look at.
100%, you know? And the thing about it too, it's like if you want to start swing trading, capital is a big thing. You know, if you're only taking 2 or 3, that's actually a lot for a swing trader.
Yeah.
If you're taking 2
time
trades,
frame,
if you're taking higher time frames, you know, you're taking 2 trades a week, If you got 10 grand in your account, what are you risking? $200 to make $600?
It ain't worth it.
Bro, just go to McDonald's. You're gonna be making $800 a week, and it's guaranteed. You know.
Most people should probably, if for beginner traders, what's the best thing you recommend for them jumping into?
Trade
Futures,
100x
options?
leverage.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would get into order flow.
Really?
Order flow data, yeah.
Why do you say that?
100%. Because you're able to see the orders coming in real time, hitting the bid, hitting the ask, who the aggressor in these situations are, where you have passive liquidity actually sitting, because there's so many different trading strategies out there online where it's like, okay, you're determining liquidity off of just basic market structure, but there could be maybe only 20 contracts sitting there, and then maybe significantly higher than that area, you have 440 contracts where you have a big player sitting up there, but you can't verify that on price action charts, you know? So order flow is definitely the way I would go from the very beginning, because it is I don't want to say it's a trading system, but essentially it's a way of interpreting data, and the way you're able to execute on that data in real time is going to give you an edge a lot better, and it's going to give you a better edge over just regular retail traders, because a lot of retail traders are waiting for candlestick confirmations to enter the trade, which really what you're doing at that time is you're trading delayed data, versus when you're using order flow data, you're trading that data in real time.
That's a fucking nice ass fucking tip. Because the biggest thing is too many people look like, for example, you get a couple tickers, you'll fall in for a couple weeks and you can see the supply and demand levels. But when you get into the order flow, you're matching up with those things and you can actually see where the true fucking purchasing is, the true selling points, and everything else between in real fucking time.
Exactly. So like there's this one trade that I had took on Friday where what I was explaining to everybody that was in the live on that day, it's like, okay, well, we've pushed up into a level of essentially resistance here. And what we want to be looking at is the volume profile and seeing if there's a lot of volume being generated inside of that resistance range. This was after a huge rally. So a lot of the times, the thing about it is after a huge rally, people are going to look to continue that move the majority of the times. So it's like, okay, well, you know what? If we see a lot of volume being generated in this area and buyers are being the aggressors, but we see that there's passive selling holding the market down, there's going to be a greater probability we're going to see the market turn over and pull back into a mean. So it would actually also be the opposite too. If there's a shit ton of volume being generated at that resistance range after a push up, but sellers are being the aggressors and passive buyers are holding the market up, then we can see that continuation. But like with price action charts, you won't know that, you know?
Very much so.
So it gives you the edge over price action traders, and you're really able to identify where real liquidity is being generated inside of the markets. And then from there, you're able to actually identify too where you should be taking trades, because you know where the real liquidity is coming in.
That's the true entry points.
Yeah. 100%.
This is some expert level shit. I think we're getting too far away from cars.
Hey,
I know, I love it.
We're sitting here with LAMBORAUL.
I know, I love this shit so much.
Yeah, I mean, I got into Forex trading for like 6 months, and that was 5 years ago. So I'm catching. It's like when you take like 2 years of Spanish in high school or something like that, and then you go to Mexico and you're like, that's how I feel right now.
You flow.
Yeah.
You can kind of flow the conversation. You can pick up
I'm like,
little
okay,
dialects
I
like
remember
that.
this word. I remember that word. I genuinely know what we're talking about. But this is more of a you conversation.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's why. So let's go back to cars and everything else in between. Him and I can sit here and talk this.
That's all. It's all good. I'm chilling. I'm enjoying listening to it
all day long, bro. All day long.
So I guess you start making money. What was the first big car you bought?
I mean, I guess, you know, if you were to consider a Nissan GTR to be a big car,
sure,
that would be my first big car. And I mean, at that time, it was super cheap, bro. You know, it was talking about 10-15% down, and I'm paying like $1,500 a month. Yeah. You know?
In retrospect, it's cheap.
What made
in the
you,
moment, you're like, fuck me. And now you look back on it, you're like, bro, what the fuck? I pissed that away.
Yeah, well, at the time, I was maybe making like $25,000 to like $30,000 on a good month. So, you know, the months where I broke even or lost money, it's like, fuck, bro, I got to pay $1,500 for this car now.
So what made you pick that car at that time?
It was always like my dream car as like a younger guy who was into Fast and Furious, you know, and I felt like it was something that was fairly obtainable. And what I really liked about it was the performance capabilities. And honestly, bro, like before I had the car, all I would look up on YouTube is Nissan GTR Pops and Bangs map. That's it, bro. Oh, bro, and I'd be glazing over those videos, bro.
Yeah. I love that, bro.
Bro, the GTR is such a big car for like our generation. I feel like.
Fuck yeah,
I think
bro.
so too. Yeah.
I feel like even just recently, a lot of the people we've had on there, like GTR was my dream car growing up.
Yeah.
I always liked it, but I was never into it like that.
I think it's the way you go. Like if you're into exotics super young,
Yeah.
you like the Lambo, the Aventador, and if you're more the JDM when you're super young, the GTR is the pinnacle. We see it on
GTR is
our
definitely
friends
the
and stuff
pinnacle.
like that.
Right,
Like,
sure.
Like Destiny, he's a fucking obsessed with JDM. That's his, and we're completely different. We've been
Right.
Lambo since we were fucking in teenage years.
I was just like Top Gear,
Yeah.
Lamborghini from 8
I,
years old.
I actually didn't get into Lambos until like later on when I started taking the GTR to like Supercar Saturdays or like a Cars and Coffee, and then that's when I started to get more into like the exotics and liking the exotics from there.
So then, why are you not Nissan Raul then?
Actually, was when I wouldn't want to say Nissan. That's a diabolical statement. Right? The fuck? But it was Raul. My Instagram page was Raul GTR.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I became a man.
Lambo
Yeah, it
Raul.
was Lambo Raul.
Fuck, I love that, bro. That's awesome. How long did you have the GTR for?
Oh my God, bro! I had it up to maybe like 2 years ago because I gave it to my sister.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, title and everything, bro.
Just
Just straight. Here you go. And I had invested maybe like 20 G's into putting the stage 2 kit on the car, bigger turbos,
Pops and
like
bangs.
everything. You know, wings lower. Yeah, pops and bangs, of course. Right. Gave her the title and everything. Here you go. And she drove it around, you know, for I think a while, for like maybe like a year and a half. She fucking sold it. So you're gonna call me back soon? Like,
Yeah.
like, okay, bro. I guess.
That's awesome. Your sister's a trader too, no?
Yeah, she is.
That's awesome. Because I see it. Some of this collection is hers as well, right?
Yeah, over there.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, the Porsches.
The first time we walked in here, I was looking at everything. I was like, man, this fucking collection is sweet, bro.
Yeah.
Anything in here yours, or do you keep a lot of stuff at the crib?
No, most of my stuff is at my house.
What's the collection right now? Did I already ask that? I feel like I'm tripping.
No.
It's not that crazy, to be honest. I used to have a shit ton of cars before. Right now, I have
Just a pure sport, not that crazy.
in terms of quantity.
Yeah, numbers.
I have right now.
Everything is relative.
I have right now my GT3 RS, my the G wagon I bought my wife. I have my Rolls Royce Cullinan, and then I have my pure sport.
What else do you need?
Bro,
Need and want. Need and want.
Yeah,
There's
I
a
guess-
thin line between those things.
I guess
Need and want.
need. I don't really need anything else.
Yeah.
Want is a completely different story.
I know there's something on your radar. There has to be.
Bro, I'm kind of torn because I sold my SVJ recently, and I want to get another one, but I want to get a 63 SVJ. And actually, I know you know who it is, right? But there's like an OnlyFans girl that lives down here who's super popular. Her boyfriend bought the car. And
The one you sold.
Correct.
Got it.
My SVJ. And one of my boys, he was like, yo, look who I just ran into. Sends me a picture of my old whip. And I'm like, damn, bro. Like, when I saw that picture, it struck me. And I'm like, I kind of need to get another SVJ right now. So I think I'm looking for like a 63, bro. But the problem with the 63 market is the guys that own them are smoking crack, bro. Nobody's going to pay 1.5 for a car that has a sticker that says 63 on it. You know, I'm not
the same
paying no
car.
1.5.
Right.
It's the
The
same
same
car.
fucking thing.
Same car, just a different badge and a different sticker. I'm not paying. I'd pay at most 1.1.
Let's break it down. Why do you want a 63?
Because I feel like if I were to just get I would get either a 63 or a really nice spec roadster.
Like
It
a
has to be a
Zago?
roadster. What's that?
It's the one with like the little like
The
fade hexagon
paintings?
paint.
I mean, I think that's only an option on 63s.
Is it?
Yeah.
It might be.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
thinking
only
'cause
an
our buddy
option.
has like
The
a white and
Zagos
purple
might
ones.
be might be 63s maybe.
Yeah. That's only an option on
63 Zago
63s.
edition.
Yeah. Or I want to
There it
get.
is.
They only made a couple though.
Yeah, or I want to get a really nice spec roadster. It's gonna be one of those two. But then at the same time, bro, it's gonna like I've already owned that car
Well,
twice,
see,
bro.
this is the part that's fucking always problematic any car market. So like, take the Roadster out of the equation, right? Your desire for a 63. Explain the desire for a 63.
I guess really just comes down to having something different, but it's one and the same.
Exactly.
You
it's
know,
it's a fuck you to everybody else that has it.
yeah,
In a sense.
yeah, because I already had a black Roadster.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that spec was fucking sick, bro. I had my previous matte blue Roadster, so it's like if I just get another Roadster, then it's gonna be like whatever. But if I get a 63, then it's different than the last two that I've had.
So now everybody that has a fucking 63 knows that the demand for that is that level. So
Yeah.
that's the problem with these fucking, when you get
They
too
set the
limited,
prices.
they set the market.
Yeah.
So it's like if it's 1.5, it's fucking 1.5
Yeah.
until somebody else is like, no, I'll let mine go for 1.3.
Yeah.
And you have to almost just find all the private sellers and everything else to get somebody that's like, all right, fuck it. Maybe you catch somebody on a divorce and then they're like, I'll let it go for 1.1 and say, fuck it, hopefully I get
Yeah.
lucky with some shit.
Yeah, ideally, like the most I'd pay for 63 is 1.2. That's
1.2?
That's it, bro.
You don't want to pay
That's it.
3 for one of the rebodies?
Bro, you would be surprised on how many Aventador S's from like 2014 are down here like 2015 with an SVJ body kit on it, bro.
Oh, I don't fucking.
We
doubt
saw a
that, bro.
C8 Corvette with an SVJ body kit
Oh,
on
That
it.
was the
yesterday.
wildest, bro. We're at Milan and across in Valet, I'm literally looking at a fucking baby blue C8 pull up with an SVJ wing. It was the most disgusting scene
my
I've ever
God.
seen. Miami's got to chill, bro.
Bro,
Miami has to chill.
the thing
SVJ
about-
wing, bro, straight from Temu.
It was bad.
Yeah,
It
bro.
was bad.
And bro, there's a lot of Mansory Cullinans, Mansory Urises straight from Alibaba, bro.
Mansory.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Brabus.
Mansory. Oh my, especially with the Brabuses, bro. It's just
We
straight
talked about it yesterday.
Alibaba,
Yeah, we
bro.
did.
It's straight Alibaba. Which, you know what? Like, I feel like there's two types of people. There's the people that have the money. They're like, fuck it, I don't want to spend it because what the fuck am I gonna be doing spending $100 grand on a kit? And the person that's like, I have it, but I want to fake flex it.
Right.
I feel like there's two different audiences and two different people that are in those
100%.
categories.
But the
You know?
only reason they want these fucking kits is for the social status.
100%.
Before, like, these kits existed a while ago.
Well, they look good.
They do. They're very nice.
They look good.
My favorite part is the interiors, like the
Yeah.
fucking all the interior redone and shit like that. That's
Yeah.
my favorite part. But these kits have existed for a while, and they weren't as common. But now, because it's a social thing, now everyone has to fucking fake it.
Because everybody wants the things that other people can't get.
Very much so.
what it
Exclusivity
comes
is
down
like the
to.
number one selling point in fucking today's any market.
Not everybody had a G63. Now everyone has a G63. So we got to go up to the next step.
But here's the thing, though. Like, you can get a G63, and one thing my dad instilled in me is, like, if you're going to get something, you're going to get the best of the best, right? Because you can go get a brand new G63, low miles, you're paying $250,000. Or you can get one that was on a rental fleet with 45,000 miles for 130 Gs.
Yeah.
You know, so everybody's like, I want to look the part, so I'm going to go pay the 130 Gs.
Right.
That's the problem.
It's fucking, again, barrier to entry lowers, and immediately that kind of thing has to die off, so you need the next bump up. Because you can't go out and get a fucking Brabus for, even a fake kitted Brabus are still one of those things trading over 300 probably, 350.
Yeah, depending on the year and the spec.
Because you have
If it's
the
been
kit
rented.
only Brabuses, you have kit plus fucking performance too, and everything else between.
Kit plus tune plus interior.
Yeah, there's different levels to it. And then on top of that, you have fake kit setup, that's it. And then you have fake kit with God knows who tuned it, God knows who did the performance and everything else between. It's a bad market right now. We talked about this yesterday, but there's got to be a way to authenticate these things from
There
the
is.
authors.
Yeah, yeah,
What are they using right
There
now?
is, like, when you open the hood.
paperwork?
No, when you open the hood, there's like a little tag that you could literally put your phone on, and it'll send you to like a Safari link with a verification that it's real.
Oh, like a barcode thing.
Yeah, type.
Okay,
Something like
fuck. Is that Mansory or is that Brabus that does it right
That's
now?
I think that's both of them, actually.
Both of them right now?
Yeah, they both started doing that.
They needed to.
Yeah, they got to.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of dealerships down here that are in lawsuits with Mansory and with Brabus for selling the fake cars and promoting them as they're real. Like, you could tell when you go on a website because the dealership will say that it's a Mansory car or it'll say it's a kit car.
Right.
There's a
Custom
big difference.
body kit.
Yeah, custom body kit.
You
Exactly.
can't advertise the fact that it's strictly just this.
Can't
Correct.
advertise.
Or
You
it's a
have to
fat
put kit.
lawsuit.
Very much
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Fucking.
It
It's
should
terrible,
be.
bro.
I'm surprised they don't see people like posting this stuff and then just send them cease and desist. Even like you're talking about like influencers driving a fake Brabus. Can they not just send them a cease and desist? They're using their logo and everything.
Yeah, their
I have
name,
no
their
idea.
likeness, and everything else between.
Yeah.
Even though it's
I was
not.
talking to Destin about this. I was like, can they not like sue these people? And he was like,
For
no, they
marketing
can't.
though?
I'm like, they're using their logo, and it's fake.
I have no idea.
But or the shops installing
Obviously,
it.
I'm thinking how exactly that would work and everything else between.
There's a lot that goes into it because obviously no one can stop Temu from selling it.
Or Alibaba,
Yeah.
bro.
Bro, the weave on the carbon. Bro.
No one in this country's got that power.
The weave on the carbon is the worst fucking thing I've ever seen in my
Yeah,
entire
yeah.
life,
That's
bro.
that's what gives it
it's
away.
so bad.
You get close and know what you're looking at. It's pretty quick to go. That ain't.
Because
that
no
ain't
one
top
buys
tier.
them the fake ones to like they go out and stunt, but like they's really just for social media. So no one's
Yeah.
seeing the weave up close. Like
Yeah,
they can,
yeah.
roller is clean. You don't see the weave, and then you
Yeah.
pull up and brickle, and then you're like, oh well, fuck.
Yeah,
You
my
get a
shit's
little light
my
on
shit's
it, and you're
fake
like,
as
why is this
You
weave?
pull up and that Moxie's right there. You see
bro,
the
you
fake
see,
Brabus.
you see that shit? It's bad.
They're trying to aura farm with a fake kit.
With a fake kid, it's fucking terrible, bro.
Yeah.
Miami
Yeah.
car scene.
It's very interesting, bro.
Bro, it's different because in LA, I don't even know LA. There's crossovers, but at the same time, I think the extremes are different.
Yeah.
because
We
like
got fake Brabus, but not Mansory.
not Mansory. We don't see a lot of Mansory out there. Mansory is probably, if you do see them, they're more on the legit side because I don't know why it just hasn't. The popularity for the Mansory is not on the West Coast. Brabus is fucking tremendous because Brabus has a headquarters right there in OC.
Yeah, Brabus is everywhere.
They're ridiculous. But biggest thing I'm seeing here, Like, for example, if you want to see a hypercar in Miami, where do you go? Where does LAMBORAUL take the Chiron most days?
Brickell.
Brickell? Down there?
Yeah.
Not Ball Harbor, nothing like that?
Yeah, too.
Yeah?
But it's a little further for me. So, like, I normally just end up going to, like, if I'm going to take my wife out to go eat, Design District, or, I mean, barely Brickell. Like, there's some restaurants in Brickell, but
Right.
mainly,
Really.
like, at a restaurant valet.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it's weird in LA. There's, or I guess in OC, what we call it, where you can literally be driving in the most random highway possible, and you'll see a fucking wire rod just fucking.
I saw an SP3 just right outside of downtown. It's wild.
Casual. It's
Rolling down the highway.
It's weird. It's different
It's because it's so spread out.
that's kind of what it is.
I wouldn't
So it can
really
be
say
anywhere.
that's like that down here. Like,
not.
down here, all you're going to see, you're mainly going to see the Chirons, bro.
That's it.
But, like, Koenigsegg's, Pagani's, you're not going to see that, bro.
There's a big pocket in OC where you see them kind of frequently. It's weird, like the way it works now. Like you get so desensitized to this shit that like it's almost like the shit we looked at as kids, like fuck me, is literally now it's like I've seen 90 of these things.
There's got to
Yeah.
be more Paganis in Orange County than any other city in the world.
That's wild.
There probably is more than likely. I mean, Cario's inventory is
making
getting
that up,
pretty-
but
yeah,
I
there
mean, it's
probably
like
no, there
there's
has to be.
so
bro.
many.
There has to be. In terms of like a concentrated area, they're fucking. I think you're spot on with that.
Yeah, because there's so many collectors, and a lot of the collectors down there have like 5 of them.
Yeah.
That's really the big thing.
Yeah, you actually brought up a good point. Yeah, if you want to see hypercars and diversity, you would go to Ball Harbor for sure.
That's where it's
right
at?
there at the Valley. Yeah, 100%.
Because a lot of people, again, when you talk about like where we're at,
But that's not
Southwest
really
Florida,
Miami.
It's not. So
Nah.
like that's kind of what I was gonna go with. Like when you're in like we're in like Southwest Florida, whatever you want, or Southeast Florida, whatever you want to call it, Miami. Okay, then you go up a little bit Fort Lauderdale. Okay, and you go up above it, you have fucking before Palm Beach,
West Palm.
Boca, or Boca's after Palm.
That's a great question.
I think Boca's first, right?
Yeah, I think Boca should be
Boca
first.
and then West Palm and Palm
Yeah.
Beach. You're more than likely to see those cars when you go up to Boca and Palm
Yeah,
Beach
yeah, 100%.
comparative to down here. But most people don't even really know about those fucking areas because it's all Miami, 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 Miami. But
Yeah.
that's where you want to see wealth and fucking crazy shit.
Yeah, bro.
You creep up there.
Yeah.
Because we took a visit to Lamborghini Palm Beach to visit them because they're good friends of ours. We were driving the coast, and I fucking see motherfucker. I saw a fucking Pure Sport just go by us. I thought it was PJ's for a second, a white one. I didn't get to see the interior, but like you forget that
PJ
that's
didn't appear sport.
it's not a Pure Sport? My bad. Then you get to
good.
see the levels of wealth, and you forget that that's where like a lot of the secret wealth is in Florida.
Yeah, 100%.
Those higher fucking areas.
Yep.
You ever hang out up there?
Not really, bro.
There's not much to do up there, bro.
Nah.
It's like retirement city up there. But like
Yeah, it
there's
is.
it's crazy wealth, and the car scene is fucking ridiculous there too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different over there.
So like once you get to where you're at right now, when you're thinking about getting a new car, obviously the 63 is on the radar, but what do you even like? What is your thought process? What's important to you at this stage?
Honestly, just having shit that I enjoy, more
Yeah.
importantly. You know, it's not even about like the social aspect of it anymore to have it, just to have it. It's just I want shit that I like and that's it.
Yeah.
You know?
So like the Pure Sport to the Chiron, what's the difference in kind of the driving experience between those? Is it similar or is it like night and day difference?
Well, with my Chiron Sport, I mean, it felt more, the suspension felt more comfortable, you know? And the thing about that car is that car goes maybe like 250 miles an hour. But I mean, it's just the aggressiveness of the Pure Sport that really does it. And the thing is too, the gearing is different on the Pure Sport than on the Chiron Sport, because the Chiron Sport is more for like top speed versus the Pure Sport's more for track. So it's a way stiffer ride, and obviously like you have like these little windows, you know, that you can see out your rear view.
Yeah.
Before it was just like you see the back of the car, but now it's just this fat ass wing just blocking it. So
Star Wars.
it's a little bit of a different experience, although it's kind of like one and the same.
It's kind of like GT2 RS and Turbo S maybe.
Yes, literally.
Yeah.
It's a
Literally.
really good comparison.
Yeah,
All
that
right.
is a great comparison.
Take it.
Bro, just cook.
For the
Yeah,
for the somewhat
Coaches,
normal people,
coaches.
those are the differences.
Yeah.
The turbo is a lot more numb, but they're similar setups. And the GT2 is just like, let's just take crack on the fucking dial all the
Yeah.
way down.
That's one thing about the Bugattis. Those the turbo noises on that car is insane.
It's like a no induction noise you've ever heard in your entire life.
None.
It's fucking. I got to drive.
It's double a
PJs.
GT2 RS.
It was disgusting. It was literally like it almost freaked me out for a second when I first heard it. I didn't make sure. I was like, that's me.
Yeah.
I was like, that's me. This fucking wilding noise, bro.
Yeah.
Wilding.
That's one thing that's super dope about these hypercars. You really hear that turbo noise. The Paganis, the Bugattis too.
Have you had any experience with the other brands driving them?
A Koenigsegg, yes.
Yeah. How did that feel?
It was cool.
Which one?
The Was it the Nagara?
Yeah.
It was the Nagara. Yeah. Yeah, fuck, I get them confused with the Regera and the Agera.
The Regera is like the longer one.
It was a Regera then. Yeah, no, it was the Regera.
Regera.
Yeah, it was the Regera. It was
Longer, heavier, more comfortable one.
Mm-hmm. That car is sick.
Yeah.
That car is sick. I just don't like that it's one gear.
Yeah,
That's the only thing.
Regera, you're correct.
Yeah.
Everyone says those cars never work too.
I'm not sure, you know?
Yeah.
They're pretty sick though. And the concept of it is sick too. One corner stick that I really like, obviously, is the Jesco. That car's insane.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like too the Gemera.
Yeah.
That car is sick.
Yeah, that is sick. We're still waiting on them.
Yeah.
2028.
Yeah, and I think there's only going to be like 125 made.
Yeah. But
If they don't push it back again.
That's a sick concept. I mean, it's like doing the 4-seat hypercar.
Yeah, that's sick.
Because we're at the point now where people they're trying to push the boundary on every fucking little aspect because they have to one up the next person and shit. We're gonna see some of the crazier shit. I just don't like the direction a lot of the fucking like the supercar brands are going. Like if you had to pick a brand right now that you don't like with the newer cars they're putting out, let's say Lambo, McLaren, Ferrari, and then Porsche. I'll throw them in there and say fuck it. Ferrari?
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat as you.
Yeah.
I think most people are.
The concept with the SF90 is sick. I love that car. I've had 2 of them, but not only were like the first years a piece of shit with a bunch of problems, but then you start looking at like the 296, and then you start looking at the what is the 812 replacement called?
The 12
Cylindry.
Yeah, garbage, bro.
The ass.
Isn't that garbage, bro?
Most ass.
Like, bro, you look at it, you drive by 296, and it's like, what the fuck is that, bro? Like, you're a grown man driving that?
Bro, it's for real. I just don't understand Ferrari taking such a hard stance with this design language. Like, just from the history and everything they've done, like,
It just looks, I don't know, but
it's not them, bro.
I'm a 296 hater because it just looks so soft, bro.
It is. It
Like, it
sounds
literally
soft, too.
looks like maybe a baby SF90 got stung by a bee. That's literally what
It's
it
a
looks like. It's
little
all
swollen everywhere.
inflated.
It's a little swollen everywhere.
Literally, bro. So I'm like, bro, what is that, bro? I'm just not a fan. I don't know. And I don't really like the design of the 12 cylindry either.
I'm telling you, they've picked the direction and they're going hard at it, and I don't like
Yeah, I think
at all.
Ferrari's last car, well, I mean, there's obviously like the SP3. Ferrari's last car that's the hardest car is the 812 Competizione. That car is ridiculous.
Como
Bro.
Sasson. You heard that?
Yeah.
I fucking love that shit. Hell yeah.
That car is
fucking
insane,
pimp.
bro.
Pimp.
Yeah.
That car, but I don't know. The only thing I don't like about it is just like, it's an 812 on steroids, but not in the way.
It's like comparing
That's
an
how
Aventador with an SVJ.
Yeah,
That's
but
how
it's-
everything is.
It's the same thing. It's Aventador, and then you have Aventador SVJ. It's the same exact.
The only difference is you have an Aventador at like 300, SVJ at 6.7, and you have an 812 at 300 something, and then you have a comp at 2 mil. 2 mil.
Yeah, bro, the jump and the gaps are fucking
wild.
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Then the Aperta is like 2.3.
Oh.
bro.
Yeah, Perta's even more disgusting. Bro.
Yeah.
I think 812 is the ultimate car.
The 812 is sick, bro. Definitely the 2 ultimate cars,
For
in my
you.
opinion, are the SVJ
fair.
and the 812s.
That's fair.
100%.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
love for the McLaren.
Ooh, for the McLaren, it's tough, bro. Because I honestly, I would pick a 765 over a Senna.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Senna looks sick, but the thing about it is, I don't know, bro.
I think it's doing too much.
Like, I wouldn't say that because they obviously that's like their track focus car. I would probably say that for the things you could do to the car without as much liability, 765 is like that nice median.
You know the dumbest thing ever?
Hit me.
I have this dream that I want to put together one day, driving a Senna and make an Instagram reel where you're driving by and in the little window in the door, I'm just going like this.
I did that.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh man, I missed out.
I did.
I thought this was an original idea. Damn.
I have my YouTube video.
I think the biggest thing with these cars, bro, and it's just kind of like what everything's going. The Senna was built, like you said, track focused, but now you got people buying them to stunt, to flex and everything. So now you're taking a car that wasn't necessarily built for what it's being used for, and now you're comparing it across the board. Because like in reality, 765 and Senna are 2 different monsters.
100%.
But when you put them in the same world, you got to pick and choose what you want out of them to really depict. But even the fucking price point, talking about a $500K difference.
Yeah.
So many of those have always been totaled too.
Fuck
Yeah.
Senna's?
Well,
Yeah,
you know,
dude. Because they're driving them places. The way they're driving them in the places they're driving them, they shouldn't be driving them like
I
that.
can rip off like 4 that have been totaled.
like
well,
that.
you know, my very first Senna that I bought was totaled by the next owner.
5 that have been totaled.
It was the video went online. It was the green one
Oh.
In LA,
in LA. Yeah.
our boy, our podcast homie, Ed totaled your shit.
We talked
Yeah.
about it.
That's awesome. I didn't know you were the previous owner of that one. Fuck,
Yeah.
that's awesome, bro. Look at the lore just gets crazier and crazier.
Yeah.
That's
the green on
awesome.
tan.
Yeah. the
Mint
green
ass
one.
fucking
Yeah,
spec.
that's
Yeah.
hilarious. Put
It
that
was
in
a
Lexus
Project
Woodland
Kilo
Hills.
2.
Yeah, he had been looking for that spec for a fucking minute too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Fuck.
scoping for it. As soon as it was like open, he was like, "I'm taking that shit."
Yeah, he was sad.
Very
He
sad
was
when he
sad
told
about
him
that one.
Yeah, that car was sick, bro.
Made some money though, so he's okay.
Can I ask you a curiosity question?
Yeah.
What insurance do you have on the Bugatti?
State Farm.
State Farm?
Yeah.
You're like the only Chiron with State Farm, no? Or
Well, my first Chiron, the representative of State Farm, and I posted this video on my Instagram. I was talking to him on the phone. He runs essentially State Farm for the entire East Coast of the United States, and he had to get approval from corporate because that's the first Chiron they ever insured. And now
that's why I was fucking
I don't know
so
how
curious.
many.
Because now because the insurance world crossing over, because again, a lot of these cars that aren't common are more common, and they're being driven more than they've ever been fucking driven before. So now you have this whole new
Right.
entity dynamic with fucking insurance and how everyone's doing it. So I was very curious how your setup was and everything.
Yeah, honestly, it was really easy, bro.
Simple?
To get insured. Yeah, super simple.
It's fucking ridiculous, bro.
Yeah. It all
Yeah.
depends on who you are, what your record is, you know?
That's very true.
Have you totaled Senna's? Have you not?
Yeah, it was actually harder to get with the private insurances because they do a full deep dive. They look at your social media. They do everything. Bro. You know, and the problem was that I tried going with the private insurance for the Pure Sport, and yeah, sure, the rates are a little bit better, but they did a deep dive and they asked me in an email, it's like, hey, Raul, can you explain what was going on in this video? We see you driving a Bugatti at 198 miles per hour. Can you explain that to us? And I was like, yeah, I'm cooked, bro. I didn't even reply to the email, bro.
You didn't even try. I like, no, fucking.
What am I gonna tell him, bro? I'm going fucking 198 miles an hour. You know,
Close course,
We're
you
in
know?
Mexico.
I mean, yeah,
You're
sure.
still risking it. You're still risking everything. There's a closed course.
Yeah,
Some bullshit like that. Give him some
Rent
window
it on an
dressing,
airport.
some sprinkler,
Can you
or some shit like that.
explain? Yeah. We used AI to change the speed to make me look cool. I was actually doing 70.
How did that feel?
bro. Honestly, in that car is super stable.
You don't. It feels like you're going.
I feel like I could do it with one
80.
arm, bro. Yeah,
Fucking
literally,
disgusting.
bro.
Disgusting.
But the thing is, it picks up like, bro. Let's say you're doing maybe like 60. You know, you floor it. You pay attention on the road for a second. You look down, 130. You look back up. You look back down, 180, and you're like, the 200's right there, bro.
Right.
Let me just hit 200.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You get to
why not tap
200,
it?
and then you're like, fuck, bro. The car wants to keep going. But then with the Pure Sport, it gets limited at like 220.
You start feeling it, like almost like this. The aerodynamics just don't let it fucking.
Yeah,
keep pushing like
I mean,
that.
So
basically.
much downforce.
Yeah.
It's too much downforce.
Yeah.
That's, bro, honestly, that's why I have a lot of respect for the 720. When I had mine, I pushed 200 in Mexico, of course, and at 200 in that car feels fucking like nothing. So that's when that car earned like the ultimate respect for me, because I was expecting it to fucking be
Yeah,
not
yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
Even on a 720, that car's fucking dialed at 200 miles an hour. I saw my TPS light turn on for like 3 seconds.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then I just had to let off the throttle because you're not supposed to fucking really press on the brakes too hard at that fucking speed.
Yeah, no, fuck
So you gotta
that.
just let it cruise out, and the TPS literally pop on, pop off, pop on, pop off. But that was when that McLaren brand changed in my mind, when I felt what that felt like at 200 miles an hour, because you expect cars like a Bugatti to feel like nothing at that speed.
Yeah.
But McLaren,
Well,
even
that's why
a
you're paying so much money for it.
a 720S that you can get for 200,000 can feel like that at 200 miles an hour. It's fucking impressive, bro.
100%.
McLaren is probably, I would say, even though I have a Ferrari now, McLaren's probably my favorite brand.
Check your
Yeah.
tires before you go 200.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, bro, I ate up my tires on my Bugatti so quick, bro, because I've done a few like top speed runs, and the thing about it is you don't realize it on how sticky those tires get and how hot they get. And on average, the Bugatti's PSI is not in the low 30s; it's in like the 40s.
Yeah.
I don't know why they do it, set it like that from factory.
What was the process getting tires swapped on that thing?
Bro, so I'm going through it now because my Bugatti's literally on wire. So, bro, for both rears, I think the quote came out to be like $13,500, something like that. And nothing, they just have to order the tires from France. Once it gets here,
That's
swap it on, and that's it.
Broward's doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
wild.
Just for what? The B on the tire or what?
I don't know.
I don't know. But the thing about it is like
You should get some wheels and start rocking $2,000 tires.
the thing is like you can't, because like first of all, for warranty, like you have to be driving Bugatti tires, and then second, like there's something with the tire that even if you were to get the dimensions and you were to try and order them from Michelin, you can't. You have to order them through Bugatti. Like it's like they're like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah.
They make it like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
it
work
needs to
together
be
like
like
this. But they don't put Pirelli on Bugattis.
No, they don't. I don't like Pirellis, bro, at all, bro.
Dude, everyone hates on Pirelli.
Bro, I don't like it. They come standard on like the SVJs. They come standard
On
on,
a ton of
the
them.
McLarens, bro. It's like, bro, these tires are not meant for these cars.
All the
bro.
Italian cars. Italian cars are like, Italian tire. Let's put them on. Not that Michelin stuff. Those restaurant reviewers.
Yeah.
What's the go-to tire then? I'm asking you that question.
I mean, for your standard run-of-the-mill sports car,
Like, what do you think I should get?
PS4S.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, if you're not going to drive it ever in anything other than perfect conditions, Cup 2s.
Okay.
But Pilot Sport. Pilot Sport?
Yeah, Pilot
Yeah.
Sports, yeah.
That's the go-to.
Yeah, Pilot
Yeah.
Sport. 100%.
Yeah.
I need a better tire setup. That's like the only thing on my mind
Yeah.
right now.
Pilot Sport would literally change everything.
Yeah.
Just doing that move. Even if you didn't change wheels, Pilot Sport, your car would feel way better.
Yeah,
Probably.
100%.
That's probably what I'll do.
But new wheels, wider tire, and Pilot Sport, that car is gonna stick.
Fuck it, then that's not
You won't
moving.
put it. You won't put it into a wall after that.
As soon as we get back to LA, we're doing that. No reckless driving. We don't promote reckless driving on
No,
Supercar
no,
Connection.
no.
We promote fun driving though.
Right. But your car, you just downshift into third and hit it too hard, and you become reckless.
It's very true.
On
And
accident.
you're not even fucking trying.
Yeah.
That's the worst fucking part. What's the best driving scene here in Miami? Best drive? Keys?
Keys is nice. I mean, if you're here in Miami, you want to stay in Miami, I would honestly just go through like the Key Biscayne. The Key Biscayne
That
Bridge.
little strip right there.
Yeah, that little strip right there. Because the scenery is nice. You see the city, and you can see the ocean, especially during the day too.
That's one of the only things about, we have this debate all the fucking time. I like Miami style driving. Big causeways, water right on your right side, left side, all that stuff. In LA, it's all canyon carving. So you don't get you feel the cars completely differently. So like your ownership experience on both sides of the coast are completely different. Because you guys got to go, rent Homestead to feel like that type of road coursey?
Yeah, basically.
There's nowhere else where there's nothing really like that here.
Nah.
Here, you just gotta go to the track.
Yeah.
That's your only
Literally.
option.
Yeah.
How many tracks are out here? Homestead and that's it?
I mean, there was a few more up north, but I'm pretty sure like the only main track is Homestead.
They probably closed some of them down.
Yeah, they have.
There's probably a big market to be able to fucking open a track here and really rip it. Set up like a nice road course, kind of like similar to LA.
Yeah.
Just a thought. Sorry, just throwing out.
Let's do it. Let's build it.
Let's send it out. Build out a fucking compound. What's next on the acquisition list aside from cars?
I'm buying property right now.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
the best time to do so right now.
Yeah, I'm closing on a deal next week, and then in another week I'm closing on a separate deal. So that's literally all I'm doing. Is I'm buying property, trying to build up a real estate portfolio, and then I want to really start buying into stocks and crypto heavily. I had a really nice position on Ethereum. I think Ethereum just hit $2,500, and I had a really nice position at like $1,400. So that was a nice little trade that I had.
I
that
think
had there.
BTC kind of fucking hitting top. There might be a lot more flow to Ethereum coming.
Maybe.
In my opinion.
Maybe.
The way,
I think that could be the case.
Because just the way that crypto kind of moves, you always kind of see big moves in BTC, you see the big move in Ethereum to follow. That's kind of the way I'm predicting it.
Probably because, and the thing is, like, how many people really have the money to accumulate a good amount of Bitcoin? You know, it's, I mean, one Bitcoin right now is like $9,000. You know, so it's tough. Versus in Ethereum, you get it for $2,500 for one.
That's why I
Ethereum.
think a lot of money is going to flow into Ethereum next. Kind of like all the crypto cycles. You see the
Yeah.
same fucking big move up in BTC. It's going to come next, and then all the little fucking alts are going to go massive.
Yeah, I think that could be the case.
What kind of properties are you getting into?
Right now, just residentials, and then I want to get into commercial as well.
So we can Airbnb your spot next year. Come through.
Yeah, literally.
That's the one thing I love in Miami, bro. There's always development going on. Always fucking development.
Yeah, especially in the design district area. Bro.
Always, bro.
And Wynwood.
Yeah, bro. The other side is not like that because again, the fucking California, LA, they make so many rules and regulations and permits, and you don't see construction just happening all the time. Miami, every time I come, there's always new fucking
There's a
major
new
complexes, new everything, parts that weren't even developed or developed. Like even where we're at, back when I used to come here a couple of years ago frequently, this was not like this. And it's starting to grow more, and I don't even know how much room we have left to even keep building out and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's why I think we're going to have to go west. And there's a lot of like uncharted territories.
It's like Everglades though at that point. How the fuck are we going to do that?
I don't think LA wants growth.
They don't. What they want is all the shit to get modernized.
Yeah,
so they're like, if you're doing in the shit parts, then you're like, okay, we'll give you permitting, we'll let you do things, get you pass through. But they don't want more expansion because fucking we're getting to the part where like, again, there's separate worlds like IE, LA, OC. You ever been to LA a lot?
I've been once.
It's fucking, as you've seen, it's just completely different landscape. Like Miami, you can travel all the way Palm Beach to fucking the Keys and kind of make it all similar. That whole LA part, like there's literally different ecosystems within a 45-minute drive, and you feel like you're in a completely different landscape.
Completely different world.
It's completely different shit. But now you get to a point where, like, for example, like Miami to Fort Lauderdale, that type of thing, like the same distance, you're literally in two different worlds, and you have every fucking landscape possible. And now you're like, the same people are working in Miami are living in fucking Palm Beach. That type of distance in LA.
That's wild.
Just for work and life setup. Like we're talking about normal, like 9 to 5 people, just because of how condensed it is.
I got friends that commute like 2.5 hours.
What the fuck? Who the fuck does that? Who the fuck does that?
Shout out my boy Ben, a friend of mine I used to work with. I mean, we were going to the office 3 times a week back at my old job, but the 2.5 hour.
Well, it comes down to like,
insane.
It's kind of like life. It comes down to the sacrifices that you're willing to make. So like, if you want to live in LA, keep your job that you have in LA and own a home, it's become kind of what the fuck you have to do.
Right.
Or you got to level up and do other things. You got to make different sacrifices. But you're at a point now where you want to own a home at the level you're at, 9 to 5, your commute's going to be an hour and a half, and you got to accept that shit.
That's crazy.
That's why everyone's moving to submarkets, and that's why fucking all these, like the COVID pop and all these other submarkets like Phoenix, Dallas, Austin, all these shit boomed.
That's why you quit that job and get out the matrix.
Definitely easier said than done.
What is the LAMBORAUL like? I guess because of course you're a mentor. What all the programs look like right now?
Bro, honestly, I don't really even push them that much anymore. I'm mainly just at this point focusing more on just my live trading room.
Your own thing.
Yeah.
What is a live trading room?
So basically, myself and another person, we trade the markets live, and you can see us trade live Monday through Friday.
You're just talking through it.
Yeah.
This is what we see. This is why we're doing this.
Yeah, basically.
How many members you have in there right now?
I don't even know, bro. I don't know.
So you're just locked in on just your trade. It's pretty much your focus on your trades.
That's it.
Flip switch on.
That's it.
Flip switch off.
Yeah, sometimes I don't even look at the chat. You know, this just chat just going on like, bro, there's too much to worry about there. I'm gonna just focus on my trade.
Right. When did you start the mentorships?
2023 is when I seriously started it.
What did it look like when you started?
Really, it was just like an A through Z online info business is really all it was.
Like just like a courselet, that's it? But a lot of one-on-ones, or what it was looking like?
No one-on-ones. It was literally just pre-recorded videos on how to get started trading, how to apply my trading system, and then how to evolve as a trader.
Scale
as
from
well.
that point on.
Yeah.
And then what does the evolution look like through 2023 till now?
So, I mean, we've kind of grown into a little bit of a bigger team. The markets are different as well, so we have different modules. So then we'll have a module where it's getting to know the market that you're actually trading. We have another module for learning technical analysis, another module for learning risk management, another module for learning order flow, and then another module for trading psychology. And then at the end, it's kind of like tying it all together. And then I guess in the risk management portion as well, you have tracking your statistics and learning from your statistics as well. And then, I mean, we also have the Discord community too, which you get access to the live trading as well. And then we have webinars and different things along those lines. So that's kind of how it's like evolved over the years.
As a trader on one hand and a mentor on the other, how do you balance the building out something that without giving too much over information? Because as you and I both shared, like the beginning journey, there's so much fucking things that you're not exposed to, that every time you see somebody talking about a concept you're not familiar with, you dabble in it and then you overload information. You're like, okay, let me reset myself, simplify everything. As a mentor, how have you been able to kind of depict it so you kind of know exactly what you're teaching without over dumping information on beginners?
By keeping it as simple and as straight to the point as possible. Like you'll see a ton of videos online where people are trying to teach other people on how to trade, and the video's like an hour long, and you'll watch through the video and it's like this could have been condensed into 10 minutes because the rest of the video, the rest of the 50 minutes that there was in the video, he said a whole lot of nothing.
Because he likes to say that he's fucking this and that, and he makes it seem like overcomplicate, makes it seem like he's some guru to the next level.
Yeah, no, he just gets straight to the point. The data is what the data is. Like, you know, we all know 2 + 2 = 4. But some people are like, yeah, well, you know what? If you grab 2 + 2, then you divide it by 5, and then you add a 6, and then you do this and that, and it's like, bro, 2 + 2 is 4, bro.
Exactly,
like, relax.
exactly. I think that's the biggest problem right now in the space. Is everybody's trying to make trading as a whole overcomplicated when it can be very simple.
The thing about it is you can grab any trading system
and make it work.
Yeah, you can make it work. Even if it only wins 30% of the time,
there's a way to make it work.
What fucks people up in the trading market is himself and self-sabotage.
Emotional control.
100%.
Knowing your risk.
Over trading, over leveraging. That's really what
Revenge
fucks people
trading.
up. Yeah, because like people also don't realize too, it's if you have a win rate of 70%, which is extraordinary.
High as fuck.
You know, to do a 70% win rate consistently is going to be very, very difficult, especially when market conditions change.
Yep.
There is a 55% probability that if you win 70% of the time, you're going to lose at least 4 trades in a row. So then after you lose 3 trades in a row, you can't execute with the same accuracy and precision as if you didn't take those 3 trades in a row. But then they start going into a cycle of like, okay, I just lost 3 trades, I want to make all that money back. Right. And then they end up blowing up their account or their evaluation or their profit account, whatever the case might be is.
You just have to stick to your fucking plan and understand. I think the biggest problem is there's too much exposure to the idea of quick money, that like I can get into trading in X amount of time frame, I can make X amount.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna
But it has to be, you have to understand that you're going to be in this a long-term game, and the longer you can stay in it, you'll scale your actual capital, and that's when you'll see everything increase from that point on. But everybody's like, no, I need to get in this, and I need to be able to make X amount in 6 months. But that's how you just shoot yourself in the foot, and you blow up, and you blow up, and you blow up.
Yeah, it's literally like trying to rush a full degree in the span of 6 months, which the average degree takes you, what, 4 years?
Yeah. Bro, it's a business. At the end of the day, it's a fucking business. And people think like the average business doesn't become profitable for 3 years. So there's fucking kids out here, they're like, I've been trading options for 3 months. Why am I not fucking making 10 grand a day? I'm like, bro, that's not how the shit works.
But, you know, it's just like, it's the delusion of social media.
It is.
You know, and the amount of people that come in and paint it to be super easy, like they're all making money, but it's a very, I want to say it's probably one of the easiest but hardest things to actually do, because obviously, you know, learning about space is way difficult, and trying to go into space is much more difficult. Putting your life on the line, being in the military is much more difficult. But it's once you actually get to the point where you are making money, bro, you're sitting pressing a few buttons a day and you're making
that's it,
tens of thousands of dollars.
You know? And you know the answer to this, but everybody doesn't understand why trading is so difficult and why there's such a finite amount of people that really make money, is because it really does have the only element that becomes the hardest to be successful in is fucking emotional control.
Yeah.
99% of people, humans, cannot control their emotions.
100%.
And that's literally the thing that'll make or break somebody being successful in this industry.
100%.
And it takes, people think it takes a couple months or whatever, a couple trades. It literally takes you years, because there's trades you take over a 3-year period that don't repeat themselves. So you'll have new experiences, new emotions that you'll learn to control. Every fucking dollar amount scale up is a new emotion that you bring. And you don't learn, like I didn't control my shit with at least until 3 or 4 years in. And I started to dial in where I was like, okay, I can trust myself before, because I was overloading shit.
That's where I find like 3 or 4 years in is like a nice sweet spot.
You learn to trust
really
yourself
start to understand,
and then you get another year of like, okay, now I've trusted myself for a year, and now it's kind of like, all right,
now you can start
I'm
to apply.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it too. It's like there's so many different trading systems that people don't take into consideration. Like if you're trading a systematic trading system where everything is black and white, it's either yes or no. Like that trading system is not going to perform optimally throughout the entire year. You're going to have different market waves throughout each quarter, and depending on what's going on in the economy in the world at that time, the market's going to act very different.
Well, like right now, systematic right now is not even the thing, because there's too much volatility.
Bro, if you're trading systematic trading systems right now, like you're getting cooked. I can guarantee
every single fucking
that
time
you're getting cooked. That's why I like trading order flow data too, along with price action, supply and demand, because it's very discretionary and you're able to make decisions based off of high probability.
I think that's big of the problem too, is people think they can put trading on auto, and that's not how it works. You have to be real time, mixed in with your system, and understand the overall fucking data that we're getting.
Well, you know, most of the big traders that I've spoken to that, you know, they trade on Wall Street, and like 8-figure traders, they have a lot of discretion in their day-to-day trading.
Very much so. And there's a lot of new trading. Like everyone's starting now, and they have no idea what markets were like Pre-COVID. They don't even know. So it's like the moves we get now across the board, whether it's fucking currencies, futures, options, whatever it is, even if you're just fucking
They're
trading
insane,
swing,
bro.
The movement we get now did not exist before that, pre-COVID. So now you get movement and you see crazy gains, and I think that's the obsession. People see these crazy gains because if you've been trading for so long, now you understand that the big moves can be capitalized like no other.
Yeah.
But the beginners think that that's the only way, and they're like, if I'm not capturing these fucking big moves, I'm not doing shit.
Yeah.
But it takes those years and fucking build up.
And that's kind of the problem too, is because if you look at the average movement on a daily basis of the S&P 500, you're talking about 0.5% to 1% on average. But because people have experienced 3, 4, 5% moves in today's markets, they're expecting that every single day, and that's not going to happen every single day. And that's just overall in the long term going to cook them because they're setting the expectation of these huge moves every single day from the market. So it's really just coming down to having a plan, having a system in place on how you're going to protect your capital, more importantly, and placing good trades. It's really what it comes down to.
I think people get to a point like in their starting journey, they think that they're like, all right, I need to just build my capital up tremendously. You can start with a couple $1,000s in the systematic process, and you scale up as you go. And then you kind of can reverse yourself and be like, okay, I'm going to be more protective in my trading journey. Like you said yourself right now, you're not looking for any crazy big moves. When you first started out, what were the moves you were looking like?
I was looking for some big crazy
You're like,
moves.
I need to hit these fucking
I want a Lambo, Joe.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, bro.
I want a Lambo tomorrow.
What was the when you said you were making 2030 and you bought the GTR, was that because of trading? Was it 2030? That's how you started?
Yeah, I was making 20, 30 G's. Well, obviously, I didn't start with a shit ton of money in the account. I was losing a lot of money, especially in the very beginning, but I had my own job, you know what I mean?
Right.
Well, I wouldn't really call it a job. I would call it more like, I guess, sales.
Sales type of thing?
Yeah.
And it was literally, make some money in sales, let's try out a fucking thing. Make some money in
100%.
sales, let's try out
That's
a
literally
trade.
all
That's
it was. Like, there were so many times where I'd get my paycheck, bro, and I'd immediately dump my bank account, literally have it like at $100 just so I could reinvest it back into the markets.
Oh, bro, I could talk about this shit all day for you. How long is our runtime right now? I feel like
Built different. Hour 5.
Hour 5, everything. Yeah. What is give me every single car journey you've been through, the car stages.
Oh, man. You know,
if you can remember them.
It's funny because I actually thought about this the other day. So I walked into Lamborghini Broward, and they're like, they walk in, there's one representative there, his name is Bill. He's like, oh, look, our top client just showed up. And I'm like, the fuck do you mean top client? And then we started talking, and I've purchased with just Lamborghini Broward alone over $22 million worth of cars.
Christ.
Over $22 million worth of cars.
Wow.
So, like, going back to, I had the GTR, had a Lamborghini Huracan. Man, I've had a GT3, a GT3 RS, a GT2 RS. I think it would be better if I go by car brand. I've had two 600 LTs, one 720, two McLaren Sennas, so that's all the McLarens. With Ferraris, I've had two SF90s, one 812 super fast, an F8, and I feel like I'm missing a Ferrari. I don't know, but if I remember it, I'll get back to it. Then with Lamborghini, I've had the Huracan, I've had an SV, I've had like 5 Urises, I've had two SVJs, then of course I've also had the two Chirons as well, and I believe that's all of the cars that I've owned. There's obviously like a Turbo S that I'm missing. I've had 3 Rolls Royce Cullinans. And probably there's some other stuff. 2 G wagons current with the one I have right now, but it's like, literally kind of minuscule.
Mm-hmm. So you've ripped through it all.
Yeah, literally.
Not a lot of Porsches though. It's my kind of guy.
Yeah, no, not a lot of Porsches. I mean, I had a GT3. I have the RS right now, and then the GT2, and then a Turbo S. That's like, I like Porsche. Don't get me wrong, but the problem with the GT3 is it's boring.
Bro, you don't have to front, dog. I hate it too. You don't have to front.
No,
I hate it.
Like, I love it. Don't get me wrong, but it's a daily. You know what I mean? It's a daily where it's like, I don't want to drive the rolls. I want to be something a little bit more sporty. It's a daily. I think it's a better track car than like a street car.
It's almost like a sports car.
Yeah.
Instead of a supercar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think the looks are insane.
On what?
On the GT3 RS.
The new one.
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah,
The new
100%.
one. Yeah, the older ones, obviously, it looks a little bit softer, but
Yeah.
the newer one looks
It looks
sick.
like it was designed for Star Wars.
Yeah, 100%.
The
Yeah.
plastic kills me. It's usage, but the plastic does kill me.
I still remember seeing the first one on the highway. I was like, what?
Yeah, you know what car that feels very flimsy? The Senna.
Flimsy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you'd go around like poking the body of the car and it just dents.
Fuck, I forget what that fucking car.
Light carbon.
I would say that's what it is. It's a fucking carbon.
They probably have like a super thin clear coat on it too. 'Cause that car is
Yeah.
just
Extremely.
light as possible.
Yeah, yeah, it's the carbon. Like even on, so you know, on the Senna, like it has like kind of like a little, it has like a little latch on the hood where the two air vents are going down into, and you push down on it, and it's like the whole carbon literally just bends, like it's like a piece of plastic.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's where you charge the car.
Because again, the car's built for higher speeds and that all that trackness, so you need that fucking aerodynamic and stuff like that. Because it's not really built for a straight line.
You know
like
what's
that.
wild though? The Senna, it feels pretty slow compared to like a 765 or a 720.
And how it gets up. Mm-hmm. I think this, again, the 720 again, that was a car that put McLaren on the map for me. But that like 60 to 130,
That.
disgusting.
Yeah, the 720s for sure, bro. Especially after you put like an exhaust and a tune on the 720s, the way you know how it has like that bar, the way you just see that bar literally rush through the RPMs is nuts.
Crazy.
Shifting so fast. So,
Yeah.
So tell me this: you had all those cars, a bunch of crazy cars, and then you get the Chiron. What was the experience? Because I know a lot of people start to get desensitized. Some people are like, oh, like once you have a bunch of cars, you get the new one. It's not that exciting. It's just
it's
a new
not.
car. Was the Chiron the same way, or was it like this is a Bugatti?
It was that feeling at first because like every other car, they're in their own space. But I mean, you're talking about my most expensive car prior to the Chiron was the Senna, and I'm talking about the Pure Sport now. I'm not talking about the previous Chiron. And then you go from like a $1.5 million range to $4.7 million. That's a huge jump. So I did get that emotion of like, fuck, this is a Bugatti at first. But then, bro, it's material. You know what I mean?
For sure.
You buy yourself a new watch, you're like, oh, sick. You know, I got a new watch. It's dope. It's your watch.
And then it's just there.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't really care for like right now, I can get rid of the Chiron, have my Rolls Royce, and have no other car, and I'm chilling, bro.
Really?
Yeah, because I've already experienced everything
Yeah.
else.
You've gotten to that point.
Yeah, like right now, I'm more focused on building wealth. And then later on, it's like, okay, you know what? I'll buy this, I'll buy that, I'll buy that.
Yeah. A Rolls and a
yeah.
go-kart. That's all you need.
If you had to
We gotta
go
get
back
Raul back on the
one
track.
car out of everything, and don't bullshit me.
Fuck. Like one car or one daily and one car? Just one car.
All right, fine. I'll give you a daily.
All
That's
right.
fine.
The daily,
Because I want the crazier answer.
I'll definitely do the Cullinan,
Okay.
for sure. And then one car, man, that's a tough one.
Out of what you've owned,
Out of what I've owned,
like your favorite, like the one that you think about and you're like, fuck, I wish I had this one still.
there's just so many great. Oh, I forgot to mention two SF90s. That's the Ferraris I was forgetting. I would do. Fuck, it's tough, bro. I'd probably do. I want to say SVJ, but I just feel like so many people hype up the SVJ more than what it actually is. But it was my favorite car, so I'll probably say SVJ.
Do we think the SVJ overhype comes from the monetary value or the fucking sound, or what exactly comes from the hype?
I just think it's all of like the teenagers over farming SVJs.
That's what it
Yeah.
is.
I think that's what it is.
And because it's translated. But and the problem is too is like you have that, but then you have everybody that kind of follows through with the aura farming. Like they're like kids can obsess about it, but then when you see like their mentors or idols getting them like that, they're playing
But
into it. And
that's the thing too. It's like so many people are getting them. I don't even want one anymore.
it's crazy.
Like it's like, I don't know.
What's the thing to even get right now?
Fuck, bro.
Because
I mean,
Miami's a different scene. Because again,
Yeah.
like you set the tone with the Bugatti.
Yeah.
Now it's like you see like Lalo's got a fucking Pagani.
Yeah,
He's
that's
trying to
sick.
trying to take a sidestep. You
Yeah,
got
and he
Dawson
said
that-
the same thing too. He's like, bro, Dawson said the same thing too. Like, bro, there's so many Bugattis everywhere now. Like, I don't even want this anymore. It's like I agree with him, bro. I mean, bro, I think right now, at this point in where the market is, if you want to be a man, you get an 812 comp
right now.
compared to an SVJ. If you have, of course, the extra $1 million in difference.
Right.
You know.
I think people forget about that, the scaling. Like when you get to like 800, 900K and you're like, oh, well, it's 1.8. We're like, no. That's literally a 2X of what
Yeah.
we're fucking talking about, the original
Yeah.
range.
And that's the thing too. It's like the SVJ market has dropped so much, bro. You see everybody getting them now, bro. You can get an SVJ coupe, 30,000 miles with maybe 599, 600K.
600 right there.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
I don't know how long it's going to last after that, but it fucking, and if it really has 30,000 miles on it.
Yeah, we'll see.
bro, people are buying them, bro.
No, 100%.
People are buying
Bro,
them.
their sales are dependent on the fucking
Again,
fact that they need
they
it,
want to
bro.
look the part, you know?
They need to, bro. It's literally coming to the point where they're like, I need this to make or break whatever the fuck I'm doing, or else I'm not gonna have it. I'm not gonna have anything.
Yeah, you see, to me, I would never buy an exotic car that has that many miles. Never. I think the only exotic car that I've ever bought with that many miles was my 720 that had 8,000 miles. Anything after 10,000 miles, like I get rid of it. I'm like, too many miles.
That's low key the perfect mile range to buy that car too.
It's a good depreciation.
It's perfect.
And then you'll see if it actually survived.
Exactly. Like if it got to 8,000 miles, it should have had all the fucking problems fixed by that fucking time. I bought mine with like 9,200 miles, I think, and I drove it to 18,000, and in like a 5-month period, and I had 0 problems. But I've had people complete opposite spectrum.
Bro, I get it, you know, like there's two people, you know, there's a person that they're like, I only want to buy brand new cars, and then there's people that are like, I want to be like the second or third owner, so the first owner takes a depreciation hit, which is a smarter route to go, but not 30,000 miles, bro. You know, you're talking about depreciation hit is 4,000, 5,000 miles.
Right.
You know, but I guess that's like the thing with me and why I sold my second SVJ, because I took such great care of the car, bro. Like that thing was my baby, and I got rid of it with like 6,000 miles or something along those lines. But it was more of the fact that it's like I took such great care of it, and then I got into an accident in it. I was parked at a red light, and the light turns green, and the car, you know how it throws itself into neutral?
Yeah.
So I pop it in first, and immediately I just feel myself get rear-ended. I get out of the car, and the rear carbon fiber is practically destroyed on the back of the
Diffuser?
No, on the bumper itself. And bro, to me that was like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like, bro, imagine you're with your girl for like 10 years, bro, and you find out that she had a train ran on her by like 10 guys, bro. That was like that moment. Like I never looked at it the same again. So I'm like, bro, I'm getting rid of this shit.
I need
bro.
to wash this thing. I can't do it. I can't do it.
I can't do it, bro. So I was like, bro, it was so fucked up, bro. So I got rid of it, bro.
They repair it or like
They repaired it, yeah.
whole new bumper, or just repaired the carbon?
They just repaired the carbon, bro.
That's the best.
And you can
fucking
still see the
analogy I've ever heard,
imperfection,
bro.
bro.
Right. See, that's where they missed. You
It's
gotta take the whole bumper off. Get a
You
new
know,
bumper.
You're so dialed in emotionally with the trading that the emotions gotta come somewhere else.
Yeah,
and that's where you're like my car. It's like it's the feel like you worked your ass off to get this thing.
Yeah.
And some motherfucker probably in like a fucking RAV4 hit you, and you're like,
bro,
bro,
he was literally in a super old, and he ran too.
he
ran.
ran. You got to be kidding
Yeah,
me.
he
dog.
ran.
Of course he ran.
He ran. He bro,
We're in an at-fault state in Florida, bro. You didn't have insurance,
Bro,
bro.
an SVJ.
Bro,
This ain't California, dog.
He really pulled the old fuck and did. He pulled one of those.
Bro, because in
He
Florida,
did not want to call his insurance.
no, fuck no, bro, fuck no. I can't imagine that shit. But it's literally like,
Bro, you're
like
telling me
said,
if you run into the back of someone here, you don't have to pay for their car?
technically in the state of Florida, it's a non-fault state. So if he
That
doesn't
doesn't
have
mean if I hit somebody.
if he doesn't have insurance, his insurance has to cover it, and the guy literally, I don't have insurance, bro. I'm sorry, and he can leave.
Yeah, that's the
Am I
thing
capping
too.
or am I right?
No, you're right. That's the thing too. It's like I didn't know if I wanted to run it through insurance or not.
Because you want a Carfax report on
Yeah,
the SVJ now.
but I fucked up
you
because the guy ran. I called the police. I'm like, nah, bro. He's gotta
Right.
get caught. Like his ass gonna go to jail now. Like, bro, like it was cool before. It's like, cool. The guy doesn't have money, doesn't have insurance. All right, I'll take care of it. But you know what I mean? But he ran. You know, so that shit pissed me off. I'm like, nah, bro, you're cooked, bro. I called the cops, bro, and they made a police report, obviously, and that got put on the Carfax.
it's fucked.
But I got rid of the car before it was even like reported on the Carfax.
Before it
and then
appeared.
it came out later, but I didn't know that a police report would report it on Carfax.
Right. Did you run into complications with that after selling the car?
Nah.
No, you were chilling.
Nah. I mean, bro, that guy still made his money on the car, so
I can fucking imagine.
Did
Yeah.
they find the guy that hit you?
I believe so.
That's good.
I believe so.
I got hit and ran and they found him. It was nice.
Yeah.
Talking
Yeah.
about the 4C?
Yeah. Yeah.
In the 4C. You've had some accident. Now I'm realizing you had some accident luck with your
Bro,
fucking cars.
I've had the most ridiculous rear end accidents.
your
Stupid.
backside is a magnet, dog.
I know. Megan,
Pause.
my wife thinks it's mine. She's last time I got rear end.
That's a crazy statement.
Last time I got rear end a few months ago, and I told my wife, and she was like, "This is the third time. You gotta drive better." I'm like, I'm getting hit. I'm just unlucky. I was at a stoplight once, stop and go traffic this second time, a third time. You know,
Thank God you know
I braked to
somebody.
not hit someone else, and they didn't brake fast enough. So
That's my only fear of ever getting in an accident. It's getting rear-ended.
because you can literally be doing, you can
Nothing.
be sitting, you
Yeah.
can be doing nothing
And you
wrong,
get cooked from
and
the
get
back.
hooked. Yeah.
Thank God you know somebody with a collision center, huh?
Thank God I know someone with a collision center.
Wow, how fucking nice.
Hooked me up
is
with a
it?
Euro bumper and everything.
Bro, that's why it's cooked. I have a collision center in LA. So like when it comes to accidents, bro, like I'm sitting at red lights, like just sitting, I'm looking at my review, I'm like, somebody come cook me, bro. Please just just come cook my shit. I beg of you.
Bro, if I'm in the Bugatti, bro, every time I feel like somebody's gonna get close to hitting me, I'm like, bro, just totally, bro. Just totally, bro.
That's a great question.
Low-key,
I was gonna ask
yeah.
you. Like when you got it, how quickly or how long did it take you to translate like the monetary value out of driving it? Because I imagine the first couple of drives, you're like, I'm fucking driving a couple of
Not really, bro. It was actually like as time progressed, it was because I was at a dinner one night and we were arguing about how expensive the lip on the car was, right? So we're like, I'm gonna settle. I'm thinking it's like the lip alone is like 25K, right?
It's gotta
again.
be more expensive.
I own it, but I don't really know. So I call the representative at Broward. His name is Abe, poor Bugatti. I'm like, yo, Abe, how expensive is the lip on my car? And he goes, just the lip or the full front bumper? And I'm like, no, just the lip. Just the lip, you're talking about 90 grand for both lips. I'm like, so 108. So if the valet destroys my front lip, I'm out 90 G's if it's just one side, or 180 for both. Because there's like a split.
Right.
So there's like two separate pieces. He's like, yeah. And then the front bumper, you're looking at about $250,000. And I'm like, okay, what about the headlights? The headlights, you're looking about like 180 each.
Disgusting.
And I'm like,
The headlights are
okay, so you're talking
disgusting, bro.
about like the front alone without the grille, the hood, or the quarter panels, or the front fenders. You're talking about like almost $500,000. Yeah, pretty much more actually.
I don't think State Farm knows that.
Bro, I'm telling you, that's like the biggest thing
Well, I
with
think
insurance,
State Farm
bro.
has my car valued at around $6 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, if somebody's gonna hit me, I'm like, bro, please total me, bro.
Bro,
Totally, bro.
Total.
100%. That's what a lot of fucking people do, bro. They get excited. They're like, fuck it. And now with total loss valuations, it's fucking arguable because a lot of people don't know the insurance process is not like a set figure. It's a negotiation based on market. So
Yeah.
when you have these rare
Then
ass
you get an
cars,
attorney and boom, run it up.
you're dialed the fuck up. Florida laws are a little bit different, but we've talked about fucking insurance, trading, fucking everything else in between on this fucking episode. I've loved it. Cars been the main thing
Yeah.
we're talking about.
I think the worst accident you could probably get in a hypercar like that would be like a very minor fender bender.
Because it's
then
such
you're cooked.
minimal. It's so
Yeah.
minimal, but it's so fucking much work just to do that shit. It's fucking...
Not even that, and you're gonna take a huge depreciation hit. So
Yeah.
you're losing big time.
It's like kind of like your mitigation, or like your exposure to risk in those cars. It gets to a point where you're like, all right, how often do you think about like, should I take it out? Or do you don't even think you're like,
I don't
fuck,
even
I'm
take it
driving.
out anymore, bro.
It just sits now at this point.
It just sits at this point. You know, I've racked up my miles on it, and I'm like, I don't even want to drive it.
It is what it is.
Yeah, like you know, if I'm gonna go celebrate some of my wife, or I'm gonna go to an event, I'll take it. You know.
What was the thought process when you first made the leap into that? What was the decision basis?
Honestly, it was just an opportunity.
That was
With
it.
my very first Chiron. So I went to Bugatti Broward, Lamborghini Broward because they're Koenigsegg as well. I was like, yo, I want to trade the Senna in for, I think, a Koenigsegg. Do you guys have any? And they had one like last week, and they're like, no, we just sold it, but we have something you might like. I'm like, all right, cool. What is it, bro? And I'm rolling my eyes because they're gonna take me to the Bugatti showroom and show me the 3 Bugattis they have on the floor, and they're like, we have this Bugatti. We're currently selling it for 3.8, but we're gonna give you a nice discount on the car. And they started telling me the story about that Chiron, which is a full carbon Chiron Sport. There's only 60 in the world. It was actually 50 Cent's car that he ordered the car from Bugatti, but the deal never went through because apparently it was something along the lines of like he had like 7 or 11 trade-ins that they gave him one price, and then when the car actually got here, they significantly lowered the values of his trade-in, so he like canceled the deal entirely. El Alfa bought the car. He took it to DR, drove it around. It was his car. He put like 2,500 miles on it, and it was just sitting in their showroom now. And I'm like, damn. So you're talking about 50 ordered the car. El Alfa was the previous owner, and now you're trying to sell me on this. I'm like, all right, let's look at the numbers. See if the numbers make sense. So I was comfortable with the numbers. You know, I gave fat down payment. That down payment was bigger than the down payment I put on my house. And it was funny because when I was taking delivery of the car, I was talking to El Alfa on FaceTime about the car, and that was pretty sick too. So it was kind of like, you know what? I could buy the car because they're giving me a fat discount on the car. I could drive it around for, I don't know, however long I want. As long as I keep it below a certain mileage, I can get rid of it and I get most of my money back. Why not, bro? Fuck it. There's only going to be one time in my life where I was 25 at the time owning a Bugatti.
One time.
It's one time. So
Very true.
decided to just take it because I feel like life really isn't all just like about money and how much money you actually have, but what you can do with it and experience
Your
life with it. That's what's
100%.
more important.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, yeah, I'd rather have a Bugatti now.
That's like the difference. People like obsess themselves with money, but money's not the obsession. It's what money can allow you to do
100%.
with it, and that's kind of like the little difference in everything else. In
Yeah,
between.
100%. Because like bro, there's so many people. Actually, one of my best friends, his father recently passed away, and he was a very wealthy guy from my understanding, and he saved everything, bro. And he was like, I want to get a Ferrari one day, I want to get a Corvette one day, and he never actually did it. And he just saved all of his money. Cool, you know, you do what you want with your money. And then he ended up getting cancer, and then that's when he decided to start doing everything, when he was sick. And by the time the car actually got here, he couldn't even drive it anymore. So it's like, for me, it's I'd rather go through the experience now while I'm young and healthy.
It's a balance.
A
Set
number on a
yourself up-
screen isn't a real experience.
No, it's not.
Fuck no, it's not.
It's not.
But
And it's what
ripping.
you can provide to the people around you too. And
Yeah.
the things that you can experience together.
Value.
That's what makes it more. That's what makes life more enjoyable. It wasn't really even like for me buying the Bugatti. For me, it was buying the car, picking up my boy, driving around in it, and talking about the stories of where we started.
Right. That's kind of what, bro, supercars, and really, it's really what it's all about. It's just the experience that we all bond. Like, we're sitting here together all because of the love for these fucking things.
Yeah.
And it's literally what it comes down to. It's really the reason of the fucking podcast. Connect the world that will never experience what it's like to be able to buy a fucking Chiron and connect it so they can experience it through your lens. And it's like literally the whole point. Like, I love when I'm driving whatever I have and I see a kid pull his fucking phone out and record, because I remember being that kid, seeing that fucking car, and that's what drove me to even be able to fucking be in the driver's seat of the damn thing.
Yeah, me too. Like there'll be times where I go to the gas station just to pump gas in the car, and a bunch of kids come up out of nowhere. They start taking pictures of the car, and I'm like, bro, you guys want to sit in it? Get in it, bro. I don't care.
Exactly.
That
You know?
and inspiring people to what they actually want, because every car is different. You know what you kind of like, but most people don't have access to hearing like what a Pure Sport drives like, what a Wyra drives like, whatever. And there's like, oh, I love this car because that looks best on the screen. But then they start hearing and they're whatever, and they can set an actual target. They're like, oh, I want to feel the induction noises that Raul was talking about. And like, so the Chiron is like what I'm going after for. They can put that target up on their board. That's how I think about it. Rather than just, we're bringing this to the people that'll never have it.
Right.
Nah.
Yeah, I think more importantly, you just have to stay true to yourself. Buy the things that you want to buy because you genuinely like them, and not about what other people think about it.
Yeah, bro, fuck what everybody else
Yeah.
thinks, bro. I think cars are the perfect like tool for that too, because like you have people that obsess like, okay, I want a specific house and like the house obsession, but there's so many more hoops to jump through to get qualified to be able to get to that level.
Yeah.
Now in the supercar world, the fucking barrier to entry is as low as it's ever been.
Yeah.
So you have these
Bro.
people that are like, no, I can. If they can just get to a point where they realize that that jump is not that crazy, all of a sudden everything monetary that they've understood changes, and they're like, they look at money, time, and everything they do differently, only because they're driving a car that 10 years ago they never thought they could fucking do.
100%. I feel like that's also the good thing too, because like the minute you do buy that crazy nice car, it's just a motivating factor for you to continue to do better, because you're like, damn, if I got this, then I can get this next. And you start doing the comparisons, the calculations on how you can actually get there.
And it translates over to everything. That's
Yeah.
when you get the crib and you get everything else, when it comes from that fucking little overextension maybe on the first whip. And
Bro,
then
you want to know the funniest thing, bro? That happened to me exactly, because before I owned my crib, I was renting a penthouse here in this area, and you would look down at the parking garage, bro. And I'm talking about like it was probably like the nicest penthouse in this entire area. You look down at the parking garage, what do you see? My GT3 RS, my 600 LT, my Urus, and then my GTR.
Exactly.
And you're talking about in cars alone was worth more than my penthouse, bro.
Exactly, bro. And you said you were renting it at the time too?
I was renting it, bro.
I'm telling you, bro. But
You know how much I was paying for that rent for that
much?
penthouse, bro?
How much?
$3,000, bro.
What?
$3,000.
I'm telling you, bro. Wait, what year was this?
This was, bro, fucking what? 2020, 2021.
Yeah, bro. I'm
Times
telling you,
have changed.
I was
You
telling-
talk about that
I
a
was
lot.
telling the boys, because I'm like, so I'm Cuban. I'm a California kid, but my whole family's here. So I've been fucking wanting to come to Miami my whole fucking life. So when I was in college, I used to look at Brickell 2-bedroom apartments. They were $2,000 back in like 2017, 2018.
Bro.
They're 5 bands now, maybe more.
Yeah.
And I was telling them, I'm like, you guys have no idea, like this vibe, this life has always been here. But now it's just social media and everybody moving.
It's so
from New
much
York.
more expensive, bro.
It's just
C8's
exploded.
It
pigeons.
inflated everything. Bro, I'll never forget it. One of my friends at the time, he had a penthouse in Midtown that he was paying like $6,500 a month to rent it. And it was 3 stories, had a jacuzzi. It was like the typical what you'd expect Miami penthouse to be. And this was back then. This was like 21, 22. And now because of COVID and everything, I think at that time they wanted to sell it to him for like 1.5, 1.8, something like that. Now that penthouse is worth like $5 million. You're not renting it for less than 30 G's a month.
It's fucking disgusting, bro. You could have literally went like this and bought anything here and fucking
made money.
Made crazy
Yeah.
money, bro. It's a lot of people. And that's what everybody who was here, it just added to the fucking wealth. People moved here with wealth, and everybody here got even wealthier.
Yeah.
It's fucking unreal.
Yeah, that's what happened with my first 2 properties.
Just lucky, not even like fucking getting it to the great price. You were just able to just buy whatever you got it in and exploded.
Yeah, literally,
fucking
bro.
legit. It's awesome.
Literally, bro.
Well,
Let's get
ready
into
for
this question.
that.
Let's do it.
So, end of the episode, wrap things up. We got 3 questions every guest gets. So,
Our friendship becomes dependent on your answers. To these
Okay.
questions.
number 1, what's the most overrated car today?
Fuck Porsche.
Porsche, just in general.
Porsche GT3 RS.
Best friends.
Really?
Yeah.
You have one?
I have one. I love it, but it's the most overrated car for sure.
Really? Why is that?
Yeah. Because it's just like so many people hype it up. Don't get me wrong. Looks great, sounds great, but it's super slow, bro. Like it's just, bro, a stock 570, you're getting cooked, bro. Stock 570. You're talking about entry line to entry line, you're getting cooked versus Porsche's Pinnacle. Granted, it's a track car, okay, but how many times are you gonna take out a GT3 RS on the track? And you don't even know how to race. You don't even know how to corner. You're not taking that shit on the track, bro. So that's why, in my opinion, it's the most overrated.
I could kiss you right now, dog.
Huh?
Oh, it,
It
does.
does.
It does.
100%, bro.
Yeah.
Does it?
100%.
Your car beats a lot of
A
cars.
340i beats a fucking.
That's disrespectful, bro. That's crazy.
Bro, it's a 440i.
Oh, my bad, Drew. My bad, Drew. All right. What's the most underrated car today?
Ooh.
Drew's got an M4, by the way.
Use Drew's because
That's what we're talking about.
This.
Underrated? I feel like McLaren.
I respect that.
I feel like McLaren.
We're pretty on the same page right
People
now.
are so
Yeah.
scared of them.
Yeah, because they're like, with all the problems and stuff. But bro, I had my 600 LT, and I had my SVJ at the time, and I gave my boy my 600 LT, and it had downpipes and tune, which I think it was making maybe 700 horsepower. So the wheels with downpipes and tune. We got on the highway, we were racing. Bro, the 600 LT was like this the entire time. And you're talking about a car that I bought at the time for 200 G's, comparing it to, I bought my first SVJ for 650. Right
Fuck.
there. And
Yeah,
a downpiping tune cost me, what, 10 G's?
Literally. But that's the thing. The only problem with those fucking cars is reliability. That's
Yeah.
why they depreciate so much.
Yeah,
It's like
but-
everything British. If they could figure out the fucking reliability, which might
I think
take
they'd be the
away from
best
them,
car brand.
it
Oh,
would be.
yeah.
I just don't know because again, you take what we talked about over the overhyped Porsche, right? Not excitement, reliable as fuck. McLaren, excitement, unreliable as fuck.
Yeah.
To blend the two, I feel like it's kind of one of those things you have to pick what world you want to live in.
Yeah.
Do you want your shit to blow up, but it's more enjoyable as fuck?
Lamborghini.
Yeah. I feel
That's
like...
kinda what it is.
Yeah, Lamborghini is, I think, the most... Yeah.
But then
Lamborghini's a
everyone,
nice
but then
mix.
everyone has them because it's exciting and reliable.
Yeah.
Everyone drives them, and then people are like, "Oh, no one wants that anymore because
Yeah.
everyone has one."
I think really when you stop comparison, then that's when you really find more enjoyment, because that's like comparison is a huge thief of joy. Mm-hmm. So when you stop that and you stop comparing yourself, like, yeah, you sure maybe you just bought a Lamborghini Evo, it's your first, or technically it's your first exotic, but then you look at the SVJ and like, fuck, I want an SVJ. It's like you just got an Evo. You know, it's
Yeah.
your first one. You know, enjoy it. I feel like that's what's more
It's a fun
important.
car.
It is a fucking super fun car.
But that's the thing too. It's like people in Miami have ruined the Huracans, bro.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Especially the rentals down here. Because now, like, some people don't even want to buy a Huracan because they're like, not only they're everywhere, but most people rent them.
Literally,
You know,
bro.
so I don't want it.
Think
But it's
about
like,
that.
bro, it's a sick fucking car. Like, I forgot to mention this too. I had a twin turbo perf.
Oh,
Fuck yeah.
nice.
I was making 12,
mint.
Yeah, I was making 1,200 horsepower, and I think that was the most fun car I ever had.
I can
I rode
imagine.
it without the bumper and everything, bro.
You probably can put that power down.
Yeah,
it
you
sounds,
could.
It sounds fucking
It sounds
amazing.
ridiculous,
And
bro.
it's semi-reliable.
Yeah.
You said twin turbo?
Twin turbo.
Twin turbo.
Yeah.
Why that over supercharger? If you mind me asking.
More
Turbos,
power.
bro.
Turbos, yeah.
Yeah,
You're a turbo
turbos.
kid. I can feel it.
Yeah, I am a
You
turbo
like
guy.
He
Because
likes
I feel
big
like also
turbos.
too.
You know why? Is his JDM is deep inside. His
Yeah,
he's fucking
100%,
deep
bro.
in there. Is his
100%,
JDM.
100%. But one of my boys actually just bought a supercharged R8, and he's thinking about taking off an R8 GT. He's thinking about taking off the supercharger because like you're limited on how much power you could push with the supercharger
true.
versus with the turbos. I mean, there's just and the turbos, bro, they just sound sick, bro.
Bro, hilarious rental story before the last question. Yesterday we're shooting at MPH Club. We were like set up in there like this. And while we're shooting, they're pulling out a black Huracan Evo Spider with black and white seats. Guy takes off in it, takes it for a rental. Then we're sitting outside in, where were we?
Balan?
Balan?
Yeah.
In
You see the
Brickell.
same one?
We're sitting outside on the patio. I see the car roll by. I'm like, that was the car pulling out
Drop
an MPH
top,
Club
same
earlier.
fit he had on.
Yeah,
bro,
same.
stepping.
It was the car.
Yep.
It was kind of funny.
Made
so.
a right. He was fucking valeted in front of Gecko. I was like, he's living his best life. Dog.
Yeah, he is,
He's
bro.
living his fucking best
He's
life.
fucking enjoying himself, bro.
But it's
Yeah.
funny because like we look at it like kind of like we not dog it, but we look at it like it's kind of funny. But you have no idea that kid probably is doing that. He's gonna go back to wherever the fuck he's at, and he's gonna
And he's
work his
never gonna
ass
fucking
off.
forget.
He's gonna
Mhm. I
work
was
his
gonna say
fucking
that.
ass off to make that his day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was literally about to say that he is about to find this new motivation that he's like, I want to experience this every day. And he's gonna cook all the way till he gets to that point.
Because here's my biggest thing, and it's kind of funny. We've like dabbled on and off and on, but why is renting a fucking supercar and going to a restaurant that's like it is what it is? Why is that experience so desirable? What makes it so desirable to the point where like you get back and you're like, fuck me? Because now I look at Gecko, I'm like, I don't really want to fucking go.
I think it's because you find yourself getting out of your comfort zone by experiencing something that you don't actually live. And that's why
That's a
you're
good way
like,
to put
I
it.
want to do it every single day.
You want to make it your reality,
Yeah.
so you can get numb to it.
Correct. Correct. You want to make it your reality. I think that's the most important part. And essentially not just leave it as a dream.
That's it.
Yeah.
So once you actually experience it and you feel how real it is, it's like, I don't want to let that go.
That's it. And then you chase the next
And
thing.
bro, and especially like a Huracan is so attainable, bro.
Fuck yeah, it is, bro.
It's so attainable.
We were talking about this. Let's ask him. We were talking about this. Let's say, and I'm talking ridiculous, right? What is the minimum amount you can make monthly to have a Huracan? I'm talking fucking at your parents' house, ramen. Like, what is the minimum amount
At
monthly?
your parents' house, right?
Whatever
I
you
mean-
got to do. Whatever. What is the true minimum amount of money to have a
Are we
Huracan?
talking about a new one? Where you're
No.
paying 350 G's, or
No,
we're
no.
talking
no,
about
like
like
an
average
LP
house.
610. LP 610.
Let's call it
oh,
one.
so the old
Let's call it
old
190.
ones.
Get into a Huracan.
190, bro. I mean, realistically, like first you need the down payment, and then bare minimum, like you're living at your parents' crib.
With these leasing companies now too, though, bro, it
probably
gets
like,
even
bro,
crazy.
even the
You're still gonna
fucking
be 60. You're
McLaren.
still
What
gonna be
is it?
60 down on it though.
No,
no,
bro.
you might not.
Your
be, bro.
first time,
Bro,
you've never had a
you
supercar before, and you're living at your parents' house.
Bro, you'd be surprised these
They're,
leasing
they're
companies.
not gonna make you put 60 down on
Some
that?
of these leasing companies want your ass in that fucking car, bro.
Yeah,
badly.
and some of these leasing companies now too are offering lease to purchases too.
Yeah, bro.
So there's endless possible. I think if you want to be smart about it,
No,
really, I wouldn't.
I'm not talking about being
No,
smart. Bro.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
talking
not
about
being
being
smart about it.
as tism as possible, bro. Like I'm literally like, what is the monetary value I have to reach to get a Huracan?
I guess it really depends on what your monthly payment would be. Say you're gonna be financing around 160 G's. What does your payment look like on that? Like $2,500 a month?
Yeah, depending on your term, I would say let's call it maybe like $3,000 probably.
Like, damn, that's still a lot, bro.
Yeah.
Your interest, you're getting cooked.
Little bit insurance.
You,
Okay,
you
and then
split a
you're
room with a
gonna-
roommate. You're taking home six grand a month. You
I
can
hear that's popular in LA. Splitting a car.
Bro,
splitting a car.
A
Yeah.
year is.
where'd you hear that?
Bro, I think from you guys actually.
Baby.
yeah, on
That's
the
what I'm talking
Instagram
about,
reel.
baby. That's what I'm talking
But
about.
point is, your payment's 3 G's. Like, fuck, bro, it's tough.
Bro,
I
you
would
know how common it is in LA. Like you think, like you heard that it's disgustingly common in LA, bro. It's just, it's quite literally ridiculous.
I feel like if you just want to do it, and you have no other expenses because you live with your mom and dad, maybe $18,000 a month. Because then you'd still be saving 15 G's a month.
Okay, that's fair.
That's the smart way.
That's the smart way.
Well, I was gonna say you don't want your monthly payment to be 10% of your net income. So realistically, to be 30, and you'll be chilling. You know.
Most people, you'd be
But-
surprised, bro. There's homies making $7 a month with Huracans. You'd be surprised. And it's the same thing we talked about. Their life dependent on having that car for the social, so they can sell whatever the fuck they're selling.
You know what's crazy is I know people who are in the info business space that they have a 720, they don't really post about it, but because they provide so much value, they make hundreds of thousands of dollars off their info product.
That's the way to go.
Bro, people are sick of the lifestyle bullshit.
It is, bro.
They just want value.
Exactly. And if it's kind of like the way I attest to it now is like, okay, you
He's
find
your
your
best
mentor.
friend.
Literally,
You have no clue, but throughout this episode, there has probably been 4 or 5 times that you have literally confirmed things he has been saying
for fucking,
recently.
Yes, bro. Like, it's
So-
ridiculous. I don't know how much you like me after this too, but I fuck with you heavy. But it's like we talk about this right now. Like, okay, the current marketing space with the info space, right? If you're finding your mentor because of a fucking monetary thing he has, that's the wrong fucking person to listen to. It's the actual thing he's providing you with is the reason you should attract him.
Yeah.
But you get it. There's different crowds.
Yeah.
You got guys in their mid-30s that are looking for different things to do. They're not looking at anything monetary. They're like, what are you providing? But then you have the younger kids. It's almost like they kind of need that to even pay attention to you.
Exactly. And that also goes to show you where the money actually lies, because somebody
Correct.
who's 30 years old, has a family, has a stable income, and they're just looking to grow and they want to invest their money, they're going to be the client that pays you $5,000-$6,000.
Exactly.
Versus the 16-year-old kid who's in his bedroom all day gooning at Aura Farms, bro. They're not going to be able to pay you dick.
No, not
So
at
why
all.
do you want to attract that audience?
No, you just got to know your target audience and base your shit based off that. But it's like you kind of get to the same point, and it's like, how do you pick? At this point, bro, authenticity is like the number one way to go.
really all it
Fuck
comes
everything
down to,
monetary,
bro.
fuck everything. I need to provide value, and that's all I give a fuck
I
about.
feel like the lifestyle, and I'm going to put it like this, lifestyle marketing, because I say lifestyle marketing because a lot of people don't actually live the life they promote, versus for me on my Instagram, like, you're seeing my life, so it's
Right.
not marketing for me.
100%.
But that type of marketing was cool back then and probably did drive sales then, but it's not going to be what drives sales now.
The line has become, it's very thin now.
Yeah.
Because you get to a point where, like, you're living your fucking life.
Yeah.
But somebody fresh that sees you, they're like, is he living his life? Is he doing this?
Yeah.
It's hard to depict. It's like, again, you got to just live your life and expect
Yeah.
the right people are going to come to you
Like,
and the wrong people are
Can't
not.
fake a pure
Bro,
sport.
you'll see, you'll be surprised on how many people think that I rent my Pure Sport when, let's do the math here, right?
Right.
The car costs $4.7 million. Say an average rental, which the only the only Bugatti Chiron, not even Pure Sport, that I've ever seen for rent is in Dubai, and it's renting for
50 bands a day or some shit like that, 25 bands a day.
it was like $50,000 a day. So multiply $50,000 times 30 days, and I've owned the car already for my Pure Sport specifically for 9 months. What could I have bought the car over? I could have bought the car over at least 2 times over in cash.
Wait, but you're using logic though. These fucking people that think this way, that shit, throw that out the door, bro.
Somebody's got to flip the burgers, bro.
Bro, 100%, bro. Just put my thighs in the bag and give me my shit. I'm
Literally,
pushing.
somebody's got to flip the burgers.
Yeah, if you think
know?
you're renting a Pure Sport to begin with, you got a problem.
Literally.
Like, that's even a possibility, like we just
Literally.
discussed. So,
Last question.
last question. All right, you got to build a 3-car garage. That's all you got. 3 cars to fill all the slots of all your needs. A daily. 1 car can be over $1 million, and then the last car has to be under $1 million.
That's feel like it's fairly easy. I would do the Rolls, Koenigsegg Jesko, Attack, SVJ.
All right, easy.
You don't feel like those two are too similar in what they highlight?
Yes.
No, not
Yeah.
even close. What do you mean?
Yeah, because they're very aggressive.
Yeah.
They're very aggressive, but
Aggressive,
one
the
actually
sound and shit like that.
one drives like a phenomenal beast, and one just scratches your childhood itch.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
One drives like a tractor still.
Yeah, exactly. still pretty fun though. I'm not gonna lie.
It's fun because it's shitty in a fun way.
Because even
Yeah,
the
yeah.
even the Sepulveda
It's
run,
the
you're like-
transmission,
you're
bro.
This
That
thing-
makes it fun.
100%, bro.
This thing kind of sticks a little
I
bit.
got rid of my S for the Egg 12, and like just having the dual clutch, bro. I just forgot how fucking awesome it was. Just being able to shift and just feel it fucking
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Oh my god! But I kind of miss the single clutch sometimes. I'm not gonna lie to
Yeah,
you.
because it's such a
Character.
It's such a yes. It has a personality. And not, every single shit is gonna be different, bro.
None
That's
of
the thing about
these
it.
new cars don't have personality, bro. That's why.
Nah, bro. Especially the SF90s, bro. They're fun. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like
Right. Go get a simulator.
yeah, they're practically.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on. This was a
I
lot of
appreciate
fun.
you guys
Yeah,
for having
this
me
has
on.
been a
This was
fucking
awesome.
really good time, bro.
What a sick place too.
Literally.
Thank you, guys.
Follow my boy, Lambo Raul.
Yep. The Supercar Connection. We're out.